late than never. This is pretty late, of course. I kind of spaced out, so yeah, it is what it is. Uh, like I say, here's the show. Fuck it, this would just do the thing. There we go. Go for it, D.
What's going on, everybody? This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over here to be here. If not, you have to get out the house. That means you. That's you.
That's the way. Even you, even you. Ladies and gentlemen, so like I said, better late than never. I'm on the road, so I can't really stick around to deal with this show. So I'm going to hand it off to D, and then if you guys want to continue the show, you guys are welcome to hop on. Of course, if D gets sick of the show at some point, he's welcome to just cut it, basically. But of course, the usual rules apply. If D's done with it, he can always hand it off to somebody else. So that requires you folks to hop on. So please do. Simple rules, obviously. Don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. Don't be a fucking lunatic. Seems like that should be really self-explanatory, but you'd be amazed how many times I've run afoul of that with some spectacular fuckwads. So don't be a fuckwad, ladies and gentlemen. I have literally zero patience for any of your shit. So if you guys literally act out of pocket in any way, you're just gonna catch fucking bans. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit anymore. So I don't have any interest in any of your drama, your shenanigans, whatever. Come on, join to have some fun, to smoke a couple of joints, to talk about whatever joints you're smoking. I was talking about, oh, everybody goes see, I don't know if he gives a shit about my audience, but I used to know him way back when. Tricky D is back. If you guys know who Tricky D is, make sure to check your subscriptions. A couple days back, he posted something. Anyway, I posted on his channel that, fuck, he should stop by and talk about cameras on my channel. Because we like to talk about cameras, folks. I meant that. If you guys want to talk about cameras, you're welcome to hop by. Do make sure to go say hello to Tricky because, like many of us, has been through a lot in his life. So I think he always people like that deserve a hello. So anyway, ladies and gerbils, do hop on, join the show, say hello, talk about your garden, whatever. Talk about what's going on in your life. Don't take these shows for granted because honestly, I am next to fucking done with them. They serve me no purpose whatsoever in my life. They literally did not help me sell seeds. It was probably the worst idea that I ever had, basically. So at this point, these shows are basically conversational. I don't know. I hope maybe to bring some version of my whatever breeding program and stuff back, but obviously it's not going to be on this fucking channel. That's just ridiculous. So, ladies and gentlemen, do hop on. I've said this before, I'm going to say it now. I don't want a single fucking instance of brand whoring for any goddamn dipshit breeders. If it's a breeder I respect, I'll be a little bit less likely to basically tell you to fuck off, but I don't want to see any fucking dipshit stickers from people whose seeds I wouldn't grow if they were your fucking dirt. I mean, what's the expression? I guess I don't want to be vulgar, but I wouldn't grow it with borrowed dirt, basically. Or what's the? I wouldn't grow it with stolen dirt. There we go. So there's a lot of seeds out there that I wouldn't grow with stolen fucking dirt. Don't make me look at those goddamn stickers. Don't make me hear those fucking names. Don't talk about those goddamn dickheads on my show. Talk about compelling breeding. Talk about genuinely good breeders. North Star, for example, is a good example of that. Fora that hops on here, he's been breeding for I don't know 15 years or something. He's definitely somebody who gives a shit. So please talk about those kinds of folks. Don't talk about your fucking dog shit that doesn't germ and whatever. Come on, I'm serious. But other than that, folks, you're welcome on the show here. I'm going to go and continue doing my little errands so I can finally get home, and we'll see how it goes. Very frustrating, by the way. You guys probably remember, some of you probably remember, I was talking about selling or signing on a house last week. Still hasn't happened. So I thought the sale fell through. I was pretty fucking angry about that, but the sale hasn't yet fallen through. We're just dealing with a difficult person who's making his own life difficult, honestly, but it is what it is. I'm sure he probably knows that on some level. Not a mean guy, not a bad guy or anything, but we'll see. So in fucking limbo at the moment, honestly. Still looking at other houses, but God, that was the best fucking deal by far. Anyway, so wish me luck, ladies and gentlemen, if you give a fuck. Honestly, some of you probably don't give a fuck. But in the meantime, I'm going to hand it off to D here. D, feel free to talk about your awesome Indian food. I was just telling D how much I fucking love Indian food. Well, I guess I didn't tell him that, but I told him how interesting I find Indian food. There's all kinds of different people always assume that there's only maybe one or two different styles of Indian food, kind of like Chinese food. They think that there's only one kind of Chinese food. The reality is most of the Chinese places, in fact, there's an awesome Chinese place. You guys can't see it, but it's just over there. There's the Chinese that we see normally is a very kind of condensed, flattened version, and it's kind of funny when you go to a restaurant, it'll say we serve Szechuan, Cantonese, Hunan. These are all completely different regions. This is basically like saying we serve Southern Carolina barbecue, we serve Tennessee barbecue, we serve Kansas City barbecue, we serve California barbecue, we serve Montana barbecue. People would think you were a fucking idiot, right? But that's how Chinese restaurants have to do it in the U.S. Same thing with Indian. Most Indian restaurants cannot specialize. So you don't get that awesome North Indian Balti. You don't get that really spicy South Indian Kerala. So there's quite a bit of variety that we don't get access to. But anyway, it's a pretty spectacular cuisine. What were you saying, D?
Nothing.
Oh, anyway. Also, very interestingly, that Indian food, partly I think because it's so old, doesn't really conform to the normal rules of cooking. It's kind of interesting when even Chinese food, basically you can think of it in terms of French cuisine. You can basically have the whole mise en place and everything else, just like a French or even Italian cuisine. But with Indian food, it's a little bit of, well, that becomes the magic, G, and then it's kind of comical how great Indian cooks cook. So I'm gonna get fucking bouncing, ladies and gentlemen. Do hop on the show. I need to make D the host before I actually do that, because otherwise the show will just end. Boom. So, like I said, D is the boss, ladies and gentlemen. Do not wrong him in any way, or he will just fucking ban you, and he will have absolutely of my permission, because I can't emphasize enough how much this show has been a complete and total failure for me. So, if you guys are not here just to have fun, you're out. That's it. That's the end of it. So, do hop on though, folks, to goof off. And D, we just lost your image, I think.
I know.
Oh, right on. Well, so I'm gonna just hand it off to you, bud. Hopefully, there's some kind of placeholder when we leave. Adios, folks.
Later, Jimmy. Have a good night, buddy.
Everybody. Oh, cheers, everyone in the chat, by the way.
Hope everybody's having a great night. There's Captain 421 of him in the room. I'm just eating more Indian food. Check me out on Instagram. I'm a D_zombie_. Also, check me out on my channel, my YouTube channel. I do pre-shows. D_zombie at D_zombie_745. I did dropped a new video today. My first Indian experience of eating Indian food. I ordered way too much food, so check it out on that from my channel. It was really cool. I ate in there and it was really good. I had like 3 or 4 different dishes, something like that. Anyways, I'm just finishing some Indian food right now. I had my samosa. I got this really spicy freaking. It is hot as hell. I love hot food. It's really hot. If you have green chilies in it, it's really good.
Hey, D.
Hey, bud.
After all this time, years, I don't think I've ever seen you without glasses. And at first, I was like, wait, and then I got to see your eyes, because like if we met in person, I would have like been able to look you eye to eye, but even seeing you just now without your glasses, I was like, oh, there's D's eyes. Now I see him.
I have to restart the show.
Yeah, well, it was cool. Hey, Cap, how are you?
Hey, Cap. Hey, bud.
Yeah. Well, wait, I forget the name of it. Yesterday, I was with a friend, and I pointed out this burger place I eat at. Told him, oh, it's really good. Oh, I've seen it next, like 2 places down. He says, oh, I've never gone to the burger place, but I eat at this the Indian place. And I said, oh, is it really good? And he said, yeah, it's one of the better ones. So at least now I know there's he had to stop going to eat Indian food because he turned lactose intolerance over the last couple years. And he's like, yeah, the thing about Indian food is they use dairy in a lot of the stuff. So I'm not lactose intolerant.
I am actually a little bit, so I have to be careful how much lactose I eat. But you know, a lot of the dishes I find out what's in it first.
Well, I've gone to Indian with my one friend Gary's a total foodie, and I forget who else. A different time up in San Francisco, where those people knew like the things to order. Like it was like, oh, I just went along with the thing. Where I sort of why I don't go there on my own. I don't always know what to order. You know what I mean? Like even I go Thai a lot. I've only eaten Thai, chicken pot Thai is the only thing I've ever ordered in like 50 some years of going to Thai food. I never go. I look at the menu. I see some of the other things, but I'm like, yeah, if I don't know it, I don't like. I just go with like the same thing. Like my one friend said, what's it, chicken masala or something? What's it called? Like the standard chicken or what's the one way they cook chicken there? In Indian food?
In butter chicken.
Or no, it's like it bakes in a certain oven or something. What's it called? Just order that. It's always good.
Yeah.
Put my gloves on.
But I'll tell you one thing. I love naan bread, even plain naan bread, or garlic naan bread's even better. I fucking eat a ton of that bread. Somehow that shit's good.
Yeah. And in the video I did, I ate it with at the beginning. I used a knife and a fork for some stuff. And then I tried doing it the traditional Indian way with naan.
Dip it.
It worked out good though. It was really good.
Dip it in the curry.
I even met the owner, like the boss, and I told him about the YouTube channel, how I'm doing a live, and he got my one of my YouTube channel and everything.
Should have picked up half your meal, man. Advertisement. Tell him, hey, listen, I got 4 people watching. But yeah, in Thailand, there's a lot of curries that they use there.
Nice.
Well, actually, that's wrong about the chicken pot Thai, only Thai food I've had. I forget. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the one with the coconut milk curry chicken.
Oh, I hate the coconut.
Yeah, that's I can tell you right now, bud. I got the menu, and it has it.
But
the coconut milk makes me sick in the food, even in Thai food.
And then there's a soup, like a lemongrass soup. I think I've had that. But for the most part, I'm a what do you call it? Creature of habit.
You want Tom.
Like even the most restaurants I frequent regularly, like even at the Thai place, the 2 different waitresses know me so much that when they come up, they already say, "Oh, chicken pot Thai, mild, like 0, 1. I don't like spicy." And a Thai iced tea. That's like my order every time I go there. So they already know it. I same with like I'm a creature of habit.
What is a Thai iced tea?
Tea with like condensed milk. It's like if a good Thai iced tea is yummy. I love that. It's like just tea with like I think it's sweetened condensed milk. And when that first comes out, you have to like the milk's up on top, so you got to stir it around a little
because it's thick as shit.
and it's sweet. Like it. Sometimes they put too much of that milk and it's too sweet.
Well, they got in India. They got a drink, tea. It's called I can't think of the name, but I'm scrolling down to it right now.
Well, I mean, I just know that like ultimately Indian food has no beef because they sacred cow. I go, they use it for dairy, but they never eat
Oh.
beef. So one thing I don't like lamb or like chicken I'd go with, but I don't like any of the lamb and shit like that.
Yeah, I don't eat lamb or goat, anything like
Yeah.
that either. Yuck. And it's coconut, vegetable coconut curry is what you're
I
talking.
I Cap don't like coconut. So I love that coconut and shit. It's fucking killer.
Ugh.
I like coconut on my fried shrimp.
That's killer. And
With mango
sometimes
sauce.
if I'm like splurging, at the Thai place they make good pineapple fried rice. That's fucking good too when it's good.
Those
Yeah,
are
but it's $14.99 here for pineapple fried rice.
oh.
Yeah.
And in
Look
Thailand,
at this, you walk.
I don't pay over 350.
Well,
Hello, should
yeah,
you walk? Can I take order, please?
I can't remember what it used to cost, but I know to like go to the Chins, which is the Chinese place or the Thai place, to get
Holy
one
cow.
entry, unless it's early bird or lunch special, which is smaller portion, it's basically like 17.99 or like $20, right? For each
34.50.
item. And even if you order fried shrimp, oh, it's not any
It's a fried
cheaper.
rice.
Uh dumplings or egg rolls, they're like fucking 10
Oh.
$12. Like to make like a order a few things from one of those places,
Rice.
it's like a $50-$60 meal by the time you fucking order this, that, and the other.
It's a
Where
fried rice, you prick.
it used to be, I don't know what I used to spend, but yeah, it wasn't anywhere near that.
Anyways. Hey, Smashed.
Hey, Smash.
So like, yeah, I learned a lot in the last 2 days. Like, you know, at this place, we have 5 split minis in different things that they've all been 8 to 10 years they've been running. Okay. Uh, 3 of them are 3-ton and 2 of them are 2-ton. Well, in the one room, the big room, one of the 3 tons went out this, probably about a week, less than a week ago. But between the other one and putting a fan in between the 2 rooms, the temperatures are fine as we're trying to. So my AC guy finally got over here yesterday to assess the sitch. Had to get up on the roof and all this. 2 of them are LGs, which like I've never bought an LG anything, washer, dryer, anything, but I've read or just LG shit sucks. So the control board is out on the one LG. So my AC guy explains to me like you realize that, you know, we did away with Freon and went to this other gas called 410.
Oh, it's a Freon.
In February next year, they won't be selling 410 units anymore. They still have the 410 refrigerant, but the new units are under, I can't remember but the new refrigerant is basically just propane with oil mixed in it, because it turns out like Freon had like over 200 point carbon rating, where 410 is still triple, like 100 and something. But when they switch to this new one that's just propane, which is flammable, right? It's in single digits, like under 30 carbon, right? And because all the 410 units are basically not going to be sold after February next year. Holy shit. like, even though I have older units backup, I have a 2-ton and a 3-ton that has just been sitting idle. So at first we were like, yeah, we'll just swap them out. And it turns out they're older units. Like those units have like a 12 SEER, 13 SEER rating, where like the new units,
20 some.
20 some, and that makes a big difference. Plus it's 10-year warranty, and like a 2-ton with a 10-year warranty from, top brand, Daikin, which is a top brand, 1100 and 1550 out the door for 3-ton with a SEER rating that over 6 months will pay for itself, right? So instead of swapping out, it makes more sense just to have to throw down and put in new ones. I mean, you get 8-10 years on something, you've done well, and
Yeah.
it's paid for itself. And SEER rating, yeah, that, because even fixing the control board, Mitsubishi, Fujitsu, like all the second market, which are like knockoff ones, getting parts and control panels for those is not even a thing. But like even the main manufacturers, they don't stock parts or anything past 5 years, right? Part of it is, yeah, they basically are trying to always get you to buy into the new efficiency, which then, wait, we wrote it down. Like this is expensive because it's like a new thing, but there's a system called VFR where you have the one unit and one line set, and you could have up to 19 stations. Now, a multi, you used to be able to buy like a 3-ton and have like multiple heads, 3 heads or whatever. But if one head went out, they all went out, right? The new VFR thing is you can have like a 5,000 BTU or 5-ton head unit or main unit, and up to 19 heads out, because the way they do it now is the line set, it would be one line set, but then you can what do you call it, branch off to each unit, and if one unit went down, it wouldn't affect the rest of the system. But yeah, sometimes you got to, and we have to get a scissor lift because it's got to go up on the roof and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes you just got to deal with shit,
I'd spend the 1,500 and get a brand new one.
Oh, that's what we're doing. That's what we decided. Had to like talk to my partner in Germany and lay out all the options, like, because both the units, the 3-ton and the 2-ton that we have like here, they were given to us by people that shut down, and they were already used or whatever. And their SEER ratings, like any of them that are like over 7-10 years old, have like 10 SEER or 12 SEER, where all these new ones same have 20 SEER or more, and the higher the SEER, the less power it uses. So and part of that plan is, yeah, because it would be great just to invest and put all 5 of them in new, because yeah, what starts happening, my AC guy, he's as old as me and has been an AC guy his whole life. When he assessed them, he's like, yeah, a couple of those other ones, they might be working, and they're not as efficient. Like they're when they get older, they still might work, but they're not they're costing you more in power, right? Just to replace them all. But we're going to go with one and then slowly try to switch them out, because from 12 SEER rating to 20, yeah, it's hard to figure out the math of what you're going to save on power, but yeah, that's what I've been dealing with the last couple of days.
And today you have to do one at a time because, you know, if this was 15 years ago, the guy would tell you, oh, they're 15.50 a piece. You'd look
Well, wait.
at it and say, I'll
3
take
ton
3 because that's a pound.
Well, wait. So many years ago, like I have Fuzitsu, dude, we're talking like a 2-ton was over like 3 grand,
4,000.
right? 3 tons were like even more. Now, across the board, they're way less money,
Oh,
mainly because
wow.
more and more residential and people in the United States are using split minis rather than forced air AC, right? Which even in all my grows, even how this is still running with one AC out, the temperatures might be 1 to 2 degrees above when they all were working. You have to have that, what do you call it, redundancy for you, like if one AC could probably handle the room, but then if it went out, the room is in catastrophic failure situation, where when you have 2, and then the reality is, oh, even how these things have worked 8-10 years, 365 days a year, is because you oversized the job. You had 2 of them, and then they didn't have to work as hard, right? So if you only had 1 in there, it would have to work harder and probably wouldn't last as long, right? So that's the idea. And then by not having what do they call it when you have like 3 units on one? Yeah, that like even having a 1 forced air AC, and then you're not able to, you would have to damper different vents to control. It would either be on full or not. So split minis actually are a pretty good tool for growing. And it's like at this point, lights, most of the other equipment is like, no, the expensive items are really good industrial dehumidifiers and split minis. But the good thing is split minis have gone down so far in price, they're not even that big of a thing anymore. I remember seeing the war in Afghanistan or the Middle East, where they would blow up these apartment buildings, like they war-torn thing. And I remember seeing the rubble, and there'd be like split minis like on the side of the building
everywhere.
And I remember this is back when I saw that footage was when we were paying like 3,000 each for fucking 2 tons. I was like, yeah, there's no way in this place where their income per year is only 3,000 or whatever, that they pay that much for a split mini. I was like, oh, there's a saying in U.S. business: how much things cost is how much we'll pay for them. So yeah, we were paying like 3,000 for a split mini when the guy in Iraq was paying 500 for it. Yeah. Or thing is in Europe and a lot of building codes and in most other places, split mini is the only way you're going to do it, because they don't build with ducting and attics, like all that stuff, right? Like, because forced air, then you got to have ducting and all that shit. Yeah.
when I bought mine's 2,700 BTU, and it cost me just over $700 installed to my house in Thailand. And I actually ran it in my bedroom and then took a piece of ductwork, cut a hole in the ceiling, and put it into the grill room. Hey, Modern. What's up, brother?
Peace and love, guys.
Hey, Modern. Good to see you.
Sorry I didn't get to stop and talk with you too much, any at all, hardly had buddies, but I had to come home to my dad being in the ER, so I was only there for a couple hours.
Unmuted, of course. What's everybody
I was
smoking on?
muted. I'm sorry. I'm glad to hear it wasn't you, Captain. If I was you, I went to the ER. Your dad,
It
huh?
was yeah.
Was your dad okay?
So, no. We
No.
took him he went back to the ER and they put him in the VA. He ended up getting pneumonia in the VA. And then we had to take him out of there to a physical therapy facility. And now he's been home for a little over a week.
Well, I hope he gets better.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry to say that.
It's time for
joint.
us a joint.
Yeah, D asked us what we're smoking. All right, I'll go last. I'm smoking the
Death
same old
Star in
shit.
pure Michigan.
Nice.
He loves that Death Star. I got some gold.
The pure Michigan mixes really well with it, though. I like it. It's a good 2 to 3 hour high.
What is it? Red Seller Farms. He gave me a cut. Gave me a cut of Death Star. Cost me something, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't given him any crosses yet. That's going to be on the 19th. He's going to get his strawberry and cream back times East Bay and some lemon G East Bay. And then I've got some Death Star dumpster times East Bay I'm going to give him.
Hey, the 19th, yeah, I'm not going to that because a couple of reasons. Well, it's my wife's birthday right there. But
that's a big one.
Other reason is they want they're not gonna let you have a campfire there. And in fucking October, you're gonna want a campfire.
I think I'm gonna pull up behind. I think I'm gonna pull up behind Red's tent. And when they go to leave and everything, I'll pull out the extension cord and the electric heater for the van.
There you go. There you go. They'll have a community fire, but it'll be taken over by everybody. So, I wouldn't attend that thing. But no, I ain't going.
Well, in that area, right? You're talking about in Michigan, mid-October. Oh, the chance of it being affected by weather.
Fuck,
yeah.
Cold as fuck.
It's just fucking cold.
This had
It could
the
be nice. It could be nice too. It could be nice too. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
But it could definitely
Nice.
have, it could have a 50-degree swing from day to night,
Hmm.
and it can go really fucking big swap, big change.
That is true. I was in Southern Ohio. Oh God, let's see. That was last week.
Should look me up,
And
buddy.
it was like 70, 77, 78 degrees, 80 degrees during the day. And then it bottomed out at like 41.
Yeah. You've been getting that cold here. But we got till Saturday of warm weather, and that we're fucked. Well, I'm getting ready to do me another booby shot. So everybody in chat wanted to get themselves set up with the booby shot. Now's the time. Yeah, I've met a lot of people through this whole internet thing. Yeah, you should. Met a lot of people, good people.
I'm at day 50, no, 82.
Maryland.
I just had to lay my veg plants on their side because my tent's too tall. I mean, too short. So I literally just laid them on their side for five more days. I'm gonna harvest it. I don't know if I'm gonna do that weird looking plant. I cut the tip that I burnt off.
Just
And I
the
don't
tip.
know if I'm gonna let it go as long as it wants because it seems like it would last 95, 100 days. Clean up and get stuff in there. Michelangelo's drying. I can't wait for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty fat buds.
Booby shot.
It's not my cup of tea. It's a Tangy cross.
We got some Woodford's double barrel here.
It's double barrel. That's probably a D cup, wouldn't you say? Maybe. I don't know. And even the whiskey even fills up into the booby. Woo!
For you people that have never hung out with Modern, he's fucking hilarious to hang out with. You're
like
one
that
of the
fun.
favorite guys in Michigan that I love hanging out with.
I like to have fun.
Fuck yeah. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. It really is. Life's too short, man. To be over and shit.
Very.
So this next weekend on the 12th coming up, I'm going to actually sit down with my phone and record what made up Lemon G here in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
And there's no tie in it at all, like I thought. There's a Cali Mist. I found out where the G13 seeds came from.
I got some P13 right now I'm smoking.
How do you like it?
It's fire.
Fire.
It's a really good medical strain as well.
That's got a little bit of Afghani in it.
Sunday or Monday, I'm shooting another 4K video Saturday at an event. So I'm gonna try to go to every booth and show the flower and stuff. So we'll see how that works out.
I only get like 36 hours to leave the house right now, so I'm gonna run up to Michigan and run back. Athens is only 4 hours away. That's the 12th. But I'm gonna go down mainly for Southern Ohio Normal and sit on their meeting.
All right, here's a story. So in 1998, when I absconded, I ran and got away. But what led to the cops getting ready to arrest me was when they went through my wallet. Back then, I smoked Hempire 1 1/4 papers that used to come when you bought them in multiple colors. Like there was some green, a blue, but there was a pack that was red. In my wallet was a pack of red papers. That was like the turning point of the interaction. Went bad. So for years, I used to still use Hempire papers, but I would never buy the red pack. So I'd go into the head shop and say, oh, I'm going to buy 10 packs or 15 packs, whatever, and say, yeah, but no red packs, right? The guy would be like, what? I'm like, yeah, no red packs. Years ago, I switched to DLX papers, which got bought by Raw, which Raw is basically
Everybody.
HBI International, right? Which even though my friend Sabrina, who's the executive assistant to that guy, the crazy guy that runs Raw for like 7 years, she's my friend, sends me papers because what they did, they own Elements, they own like all these brands. But really what I think,
They bought them all out.
for they could have more Raw on the shelf, right? Because you go to the head shops, and I have a few around me that are pretty, thorough head shops. Oh, you can't buy anything but Raw shit there, right? Oh, they have Elements and Raw and Zigzag, but I can't find DLX. Even if you go online, they're out of stock. So she hooks me up. She sends me cases. She just sent me a couple new cases. Yeah, I opened it up. These are the old ones. They were black with a little red. Okay, I could deal with those. Now the new one is red. I'm like, oh, this could be
No.
bad omen, right? And then when I was reading this, because obviously they okay,
Formulated.
so of course they say they're made in Spain and not for sale for underage, but then it says not for tobacco use, for use with legal smoking herbs, because I
Really?
guess
Wow.
if a rolling paper company says it's for tobacco use, they probably have to go through more bullshit or whatever, right? But these are the papers I like, which for 40 years I smoked 1 1/4. That was my thing, all the way back from Zigzag. Somehow, and she didn't even realize she did it, but a couple years ago, she sent me 84 millimeter papers, which are like just a little bit bigger than 1 1/4, right? Like it doesn't take that much more weed, but like if I still had some 1 1/4, if I roll a joint with a 1 1/4, it's like a few hits, the fucking thing's already done. Somehow with an 84 with a little more weed, it smokes way longer. Like it's one of those what do you call it when
Bud's just getting higher.
The which, yeah, mainly it's a European thing. 84. They don't go 1 1/4. Like even looking at head shops around here, oh, it's hard to find 84 papers. But yeah, because I could show you like the paper's not that much bigger. I don't know as far as weight, but yeah, you have to use a little more weed to roll an 84. But that 84 is going to smoke like way longer than a 1 1/4. It's like so for years I've been only smoking 84s. So yeah, but now they're red. But oh well. I guess you have to get over your weird, like I have weird over the
You gotta
No.
years,
get
like
over your hype. Oh,
I've been
I have a
jump in the water.
old deadhead friend here from Ohio, and he owns a Mexican restaurant in Phnom Penh. And I set a red Bic on the table, and he came up to me and he says, "Hey, put that Bic in your pocket." I go, "What's up?" He says, "I can't see red Bics anymore." I guess he had too much and a bad time and a red Bic.
well, as far as clothing and other things, even before that, I'm like I don't like red. I don't rep. I'm a redhead when I was a kid, and my mom and my aunts used to tell me, "Oh, you can't wear red. It clashes with your red
I
hair."
used to like redhead or
So yeah, I don't have red clothing, or yeah, I I don't know. I have weird quirks, you know.
Well, we all do.
everyone
Cheers to
said
that.
white lighters are bad.
such a bad. Okay.
They're unlucky, I should say, not bad, unlucky. Um, I got the bonfire in Maine this Saturday, and then on the 12th, I'm going to Greenfield for another show. But it sucks because it was like our last surviving farmers market style event in Massachusetts. Someone got busted for selling ketamine of all things at a weed event. And it
Well, I
ruined
mean,
it.
YouTube and sends me ads for ketamine therapy fucking all the time. Like, I also get
It's
this
so
ad where
big here in Ohio.
there's like this drink ad that's like
It's made in Cleveland.
THCA and mushrooms drinks that like are on YouTube.
It just sucks. Um,
Well,
So a lot of the ketamine you're getting actually comes out of Cleveland.
you know, like there's this guy that I follow. His name is Terrapin Terpenes. He's like in New York, and uh, he does a lot of. He's been starting these events where they're like pizza and dabs. Like they're small. You at certain I guess restaurants or places or different. Oh, bake. Like one was like a bakery thing where yeah, those that to me like pairings. Like we don't have a lot of those in California, but like I think that's like a cooler, smaller group of people, and then also better appreciate food or whatever and the weed, not just be like, oh, a weed thing exclusively. Um, I didn't get up to it, but it seems like it gets better every year in LA. PuffCon. PuffCon was this last weekend, and I guess it's a pretty big like event at this point.
my buddy from Rhode Island is signed with Puffco. He's one of Puffco's like 6 artists they use. And he does all the tops and stuff. His name's Slate Glass. He's from Rhode Island. He's a wicked cool dude. pieces are a little expensive, but his work's amazing, so I get it. Just not my cup of tea. But PuffCon,
Well,
everyone goes there.
like as far as like Emerald Cup, and like Emerald Cup's like a metric event, right? Like the whole way
Wow.
it's set up with the legal system. PuffCon is like in the like gray area event, like where uh it and it's pretty big, but like most of the events in California that are legal metric events, yeah, those are like too many rules and the way it's all set up in the legal market. Like Emerald Cup is kind of ruined to my mind from that, and a few of the other events at that scale, where
See,
PubCon is somehow getting away with just throwing a huge. Well, they have music and it's other stuff going on there, but it's basically a huge cannabis event. But it's not like metric. You know,
see,
you don't have to have a license
Ohio's
to be involved.
Ohio's still like in the infancy of that. So you can go and buy clones off of 40 of the 50 tables, but there may be one licensed facility selling pot. But if you go up and ask anybody that's got a table there, they'll probably ask you, what are you looking for?
Well, I won't think we have reached normalization. I'm mainly a concert goer my whole fucking life, and you know I don't drink, but alcohol and concert business are intertwined, right? There should be no reason that people, just like there's alcohol sales at shows, there should be cannabis sales at shows. I know in
Yeah,
Northern California, there's yeah, they're starting to like come around to that, but I'm talking on like the bigger level. You know, oh yeah, you smoke it in the where you smoke cigarettes or whatever. Like, uh, there should be no
dude,
reason
here.
that you know, and even over all the years of concerts, especially when I was a deadhead, we used to play a lot at colleges. In a lot of places, they didn't have alcohol. They were like they didn't sell alcohol at the show. And then you'd go to a lot of shows that were alcohol shows. Yeah, when you get 10, 20, 30,000 people and it's alcohol
Drinking.
sales, then you see a certain thing within the crowd, right? As far as people fighting, different shit happening where, yeah, they even football games, like, oh, yeah, they make alcohol sales a big part of it. Well, why isn't cannabis able to be smoked?
All
You know,
sporting events, not just football. All
yeah.
sporting events.
One day it will come to that because there's money in it. And yeah, just like
Exactly.
beers
It's the
cost
money.
more money at an event, same with drinks. And I've got a coffee at the concert I went to last week. It was $6.50 just for a cup of coffee. So, all right, they make profit, and cannabis would make profit there. But
You
pre
know,
rolls and those little, what do you call it? The little jiggy
Dog
joints.
walkers.
Yeah, that you should be able to go to a concert. And if just like if you wanted to buy a drink, yeah, well, yeah, let's get a joint for the show. Then we'd be like normalized, but like somehow it seems like we're far from that happening.
at the Freedom Rally, it was interesting. Like they're letting dispensaries have booths now. They had a 21 plus like area, and all
Yeah.
the dispensaries were in the 21 plus area. But the thing was, you couldn't buy anything in there. I don't know why it was 21 plus, because the regular protest, everyone was doing their thing over there and no one said it.
Well, here, how it works is like, oh, there's different buildings or sections. So in each one of those sections, you could go up to whatever booth and they're selling stuff, but they can't sell it to you directly. They've contracted out with a dispensary that has its own booth that stocks everybody's product, and then they refer you to go over to that vendor, and like usually it'll be like, oh, our product is A15 through whatever, and you go there, and then they're the place that sells all the brands that is in that building.
That's how they're getting their tax money.
And a lot of that's because ultimately with the legal market and all that, they don't trust people to do business. Like, oh, that's just a way that they make it that like
Collect all the taxes.
yeah, and yeah, whatever. It seems like, why wouldn't you just be able to get it directly from the vendor that has it? Oh no, he can't. He has to refer you to the inventory booth that's technically a different dispensary that's set up to just distribute for all these brands, and you have to pay them a percentage because they're doing it. And like that to me seems like counterproductive. Like, yeah, but that's the way the system is at the like bigger events. That basically is why those events aren't doing well. Like Emerald Cup didn't do that. Like people are tired of going to those kind of events.
And that's why Michigan is crushing California in sales, because everybody from around Michigan is going to Michigan because they can buy off caregivers.
Being a proud California, and I'm a Democrat, liberal, and all that. Yeah, we are got Newsom, and it's so whatever. Our state system is basically fucking ourselves up by, yeah, we have an opportunity to be like a brand, like, you know, like a regional, like, yeah, California weed, and but nope, all of our rules are making our system like basically fucked. I think it's like on purpose because, yeah, eventually the bigger corporation is going to come in and make a play, and the more fucked up the system is, the easier it is for that to happen.
Well, where are all the little farmers now? All the farms now are all big, huge farms. I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm just talking about food, general. All big farms.
Yeah.
Tell me they don't want it to be marijuana to big farms, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Michigan, yeah, because being on YouTube here and all that, I know, I follow, I listen. A lot of guys from Michigan are involved, from Red Setter and the Michigan Bro Show, Eagle, just different people. Yeah, I think Michigan has like probably as per state the best cannabis laws or situation going, even though it has its problem, it's under attack and all that. At least they're still in trying to like have it a little bit on the right side, where other states, oh yeah, we've totally just thrown in the towel.
I don't know. California, you get 99 plants. You can't get 99 plants in Michigan.
Well, no, I think
60.
It's 6 plants. I think it's like home grow is always supposed to be 6 plant count.
In California?
Yeah, we don't have a medical thing anymore. Like where you guys still have caregiver, all that.
You don't have. No, you can't get 99 plants anymore.
No, because the first paragraph or sentence of Prop 64 is that this supersedes Prop 215, and so basically Prop 215 was the medical thing that had all that.
Yeah.
And now so many years later, we basically don't have medical or caregiver or any of that. None. Like,
Lord.
It just died off. Like it just basically got replaced with rec, right? Which is a shame because 215 was a lot of years, and even though there was a sham side of that. Like, you know, there was a good portion of people that were truly medical, and somehow that kind of just went away with the rec part of it. Basically, their position was, well, now there's rec, you can just get it there. And I think if you do have a medical card, some dispensaries like have no tax or less tax for medical, but most of them don't even offer that. They just straight rec. Yeah, it just it just died. Which, yeah, Michigan, oh, they're still fighting to keep the caregiver thing going. And even from what happened with what was his name, Spartan, and you know, got
Yeah.
involved with standing
Yeah,
up, but those companies were sliding money to try to take the home grow away because they want everybody buying shit from them, right?
You're right, 100%.
Which over time, yeah, I think we have to be on guard for the rest of the time in every state, because once the legal rec business gets really established, they're going to try
Push
to
us all out.
say, oh, no home grow or ban home grow because, that's part of, they want every dollar. They don't want.
You know, quite
Well,
honestly,
that's what they
honestly, it'll
did to
probably happen.
Michigan.
It'll probably happen, but it won't be in our lifetime. But
Well,
it's
the
just not gonna happen
reality
that
is,
quick. You know what I mean? We got seeds. We got seeds forever. It ain't gonna happen.
is even from what I see with like, a 6 plant count or whatever, I don't know who's counting. Like, if you had 12, I mean, I don't think there's like something where I haven't heard somebody go, yeah, I got caught. I had 10 plants over the limit or something. The cops.
They busted a guy here in Ohio for 35 plants. You're
Well,
allowed 12 per household.
The reality is, and it's just like with anything, it gets into like, if you're truly a home grower and just giving it to your friends, and once it gets into money and all that, then then they have laws for that, right? It's basically, right, the the money part. But as long as you're just growing it for you and your friends, once you start to make money, well, then they can always say, tax evasion or whatever the fuck, you know?
See, I had caregiver friends that would actually put it on their taxes every year.
Well, I know the legal market cries about this 280E, which is like would make banking possible for them. But like the homegrown market or the other people, we should be demanding that we have an ability to, like, just if you make a few $1,000 over the year with cannabis, that you can just put it on your taxes as income. Like, what the fuck, right?
The way it's written in Michigan is if you're a caregiver, you're allowed to sell your overages to help pay for the electricity, for your nutrients and everything like that for the grow. That's how it started off.
Well, I mean, I've said this before, but when Props 16, there was a group in Berkeley of like older fucking outcast hippies that were against voting for what we voted for. Their concept was, if you just like let people grow and report it and put a basic sales tax, the state would make a bigger revenue in the long run than this way, right? Which, it probably would have, right? Because there's a lot of data that shows that the high taxes, the 30-some% in the whole regulatory thing, is actually, well, in the Humboldt, Mendocino, Trinity counties, in the last 6 years of Prop 6, the sales tax collection in those areas have dropped significantly, right? Major, much more than the licensed grows in that area tax contribution, because you've taken, like, there's no jobs, there's no, like, there's no, all the things that, oh, people that went up there to work, or even went up there to purchase shit. Oh, they spent money, and then that money had taxes, and that was a huge part of the tax base, which now, over the years of this legalization, their sales tax collection is plummeting to like critical situation. And that's basically the data showing that, yeah, this
Backdooring
way hurt the overall tax base of the area more than when it was more the people's thing, right? And hey, I used to have a fruit stand business that wasn't very profitable, but it was our way of having legitimacy, that over the years, there was years that we filed huge profits in our taxes and paid taxes on it, because I could funnel all the cannabis money through that small business, right? So I was paying taxes on the money I made. Most people don't want to like have a good income and good numbers on that side, because that's how you get loans to buy properties and to be a citizen in the economy. So I mean, there's always a few people that are going to cheat on their taxes and whatever, but most people would report the money if they had it and could, because there's more benefits to that. You know what I'm saying?
So I need medical now that I'm back. I qualify for 8 different funds, government funds, state funds, and everything like that. And they're asking me for my tax returns for the past couple years. And I said, well, I've been living in Thailand. And they said, well, don't you file taxes? I said, I've been disabled since 1994. When you're on workers' comp, you don't have to file taxes because you never make over $10,000 a year.
You know, this is like day 8 or 9 with these clones, where my partner has taken clones every time, but he's been in Germany. So I took these ones, and I was kind of, well, whatever. Yeah, somehow they're all fine. They're going to root, but most of the time, like, his has 80% roots by 7 days. And somehow when I checked them yesterday, there still weren't roots. I'm like, what the
4
fuck?
to 6 days. Crack your domes a little bit. Get
Well,
some
one, I
fresh air
didn't
in
use
there.
the heat. I didn't use the heat
That's what
mat.
he said.
I don't use the heat mats either.
I don't use the heat mat either.
And I get them 4 to 7 days. Now, OG18, that could take like 2+ weeks.
Yeah, I have some take a long time.
Yeah.
But I like the ones that come early, boy. That's always a vigorous plant usually.
Yeah. I just killed 4 clones the other day. I don't know. I don't think I had them close enough to the LED. And for like the past 10 days, my room's finally up to like 81, 82 degrees. And I'm literally getting an inch to an inch and a half a day growth now. But I can see already from the lowers that LEDs don't penetrate the canopy at all, hardly.
No. No, they don't.
Well,
No, they don't. Not as good.
I-
Not as good of it. They're not. They don't. So you want a canopy. You need a canopy with LEDs. I mean, that's my opinion. You can spread them out, but that it's got it can't fight through the canopy. It has to get direct light. It's yeah, that's the flaw I have with LEDs. I mean, it is what it is. I work with it. But
well, I kind of learned the same thing. I have one LED probably for 4 cycles, where when we first hung it and ran it, it made good bud, but we had it like a couple feet above the canopy. And even though I've listened to all of this LED stuff for years with you guys, took me a couple cycles before I was like, yeah, we need to lower it. This cycle, which is week 6, 5, 6, yeah, we put it right down on it. Yeah, making a huge difference. Like that's how it has to be run.
But you
Like
don't
maybe
you
8
have that on
inches,
a
unfortunately,
6,
light
8
mover
inches.
yeah.
too?
No,
you ever
that was
taken
only the first cycle.
Okay.
if you ever taken a par meter and just bumped it down, you watch them numbers drop, drop, drop. I mean, it's incredible to say, "Oh my gosh!" You lose. There's tops, the very tops. Like, okay, I'll get them too much. Fuck it, because I got to get the rest of this shit some light down here because I'm losing every millimeter. It's fucking dropping numbers,
Yep.
and that's what you got to fight. You got to work with it, man. I mean, I don't know. Everybody got their own way, but
My
Yeah, like
problem is heat in the room. The heat in the room is costing me more than the lights are.
yeah, that's a big thing. As I was dealing with the AC thing and all this,
correct.
yeah, we could avoid a lot of that energy if we went, and that's why we even have the one in play to, like, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I still like, I don't know, I still think HPS, CMH blend. Sorry, the train's going by. Yeah, man, it puts out this certain, uh, quality. Heck, I don't know. I don't know if the LED's better than that. Now, more efficient
I
and
don't think it's better than that. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's better. I mean, you got pros and cons to everything. There's pros and cons to it
Yeah.
too.
like this place
But
has been
it's
running.
absolutely giving me better bud. I'm doing it better. No, I don't think so. You're being more efficient. You're saving probably money.
Like this place has been running over 10 years. One room is still single-ended with uh uh vented hoods with CMH 315s, like in the middle of them, right? That
Okay.
room puts out to me, that's like my
That's the
favorite room is quality.
yeah. I bet.
In our double-ended room, we used to have double the amount of lights, and they were up high. And then my partner, due to trying to be more efficient, whatever, put double-endeds on old light rails. Okay, we got cut
Which
out
you can't buy anymore.
half the lights,
Have the lights.
right?
Throw it up.
Because they move, and
Right.
we're able to run double-endeds, like basically not right on top like with the LED, but way lower because they're moving, right?
Right.
As long as they're moving, they don't, like,
Well,
yeah, if
it
it's
changes, so you're not getting that. It's a matter of how
right.
much light they get, not how strong it is necessarily.
And it does pretty good, like when you
Yeah.
figure, like when we did the math on it, like at first we only did it before we did the whole room. Yeah, that room uses half the light. Now the overall yield went down a little because it's half the light, but the amount of yield for that much energy or light went up. Like it was like, oh, okay, that was a sound decision. But I still think the single-ended room, even though you have to change the bulbs every and clean the hoods, and I always say this, the best section, it's 4,000 HPSs with one
Yeah.
315 in the center of them all. So there's really a section that gets the blend of the two. And the 315 is at the same height of the thousands, right? Somehow you can see it visually. The plants under the 315,000 mix are more resiny. Like there's some spectrum that's in that 315 blended in with the 1,000.
They like a little bit of that blue.
Yep.
And
more than you think.
Yeah. I mean,
the red makes a punch.
One of our friends has a fucking storage with a fucking I don't know how many, enough that we would be able to switch to LEDs that he had just bought before he shut down. And he's off. Like at first he wanted to sell it to us, but now it's been whatever amount of time. He just wants to fucking get rid of the storage. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't pulled the trigger on the thing. Well, we tried the one that because I don't know, you get stuck in your ways. I wish can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm kind of that way. I've been doing this a long time, and it's running, and you just keep doing the same thing, and with the current market and the value, all that, it's hard to say, invest more in any change, right? Where it used to be, the business made it that, you need to buy this, that, or the other. Oh, no problem. It was easy to do that. Where today,
budget.
Yeah.
Oh, I spent $5,000 at the grocery store, so
And
I
what's
have to
the
go sell
saying?
a pound.
If it works, don't fix it. That's some of it. And I mean, even with LEDs, because we were close 3 years ago of pulling the trigger when the first type of LED. Those lights, they've come a long way, meaning they've
They came
evolved, right?
Yeah,
and the prices have continued to get more reasonable and all that. So
yeah,
I'm not against it. It's not I'm anti. It's just that, there's other factors of it.
I mean, it's just more efficient. Bottom line is, and it does work well. It's just utilizing how the spectrum is. It falls off. To me, it falls off fast. So your top buds are always beautiful. To me, it's getting that. But I have found, it can get down low and get nice lowers. But those lowers got to see good light. They got to get good light. If they're not getting good light, you just ain't going to get shit on it. It's not going to make it through those leaves. Those little leaves that are sitting there and blocking, it's not going to get down to them and give enough light to them. That's what I see. Well, it comes down to it. People can say whatever, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, well, most lights have a sweet spot of canopy light that's really only a couple feet at best, right? From the top down, right? It's not the even HPS doesn't there's maybe 2 or 3 feet where that's the sweet spot of spectrum in light of a canopy.
Well, I know somebody's minds that they have lowers that look beautiful. I mean, they got beautiful lowers. But I will say those lowers, they get good light. And so
part of that
it's
is
not.
how
I
you-
don't even know that it's getting that intense, but if it's getting that direct light, even that lower is going to get really good nut. And
Yeah,
that's
a
what I
lot of
saw with
that's
LEDs. I think HPS may power through it more.
But the bottom
Yeah.
line is it's how you shape or manicure and
Yeah,
defoliate
right.
the overall
How you
plant.
work your plan.
Like at my place, which I'm
How you
not
work your
running
plan.
at the moment, I didn't do a lot of that. Where here the system is, oh yeah, we really just try to top things, have the tops and take all the suckers, all the little lowers off, which over the year or so I've been running this place exclusively. I see, like, what's the saying? Like, yeah, if the plant doesn't have to support those, it puts more energy to the main ones. You're right. I see that. Like I see that in action when I uh, take up all the little lowers and anything below the sweet spot off the plant, which is a lot of work, and you have to do it more than once during the cycle because it's always amazing. I fucking
Yep.
clean them up, and then another week or so, it looks like I didn't even fucking clean them up, right?
Yeah.
And uh, even my partner, like, he keeps showing me, like, yeah, even on the tops, take these ones that are like on the side or whatever off, because yeah, if you do certain things, oh yeah, the weight ends up being on those rather than spread out on all across. Like, but that's and it's strain
It,
specific too.
yeah, you know what? I found that it hurts your yield to do that. People, I mean,
Mhm.
I talked to a buddy of mine, and I'm telling him to trim all this stuff. I go there and trim his fucking plant all the fucking hell. He's like freaking out, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing to my plant? I mean, holy fuck. He's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm making this thing live, dude. Now you just think it ain't gonna grow nothing down here. What you doing? It ain't getting no light, it ain't getting no growth.
Well, these are like 8 days in, 9 days. This room, yesterday or the day before, we cleaned them all up, took like everything off.
Yeah,
Where
pretty much.
like
Yeah.
this room that's ahead of it, yeah, I did the same, but not as
It's pretty dramatic.
thorough as
Yeah.
that as I did in that one. Yeah, that's like, yeah, that's what's
There you
working for
go.
me.
That's getting, making use of the energy going right to that bud.
But even though these were all defoliated at day 8, oh, by like days somewhere between week 2 and 3, oh, they'll need it again.
And look, I wouldn't even go as much as you do. But as you can see, you can do that and be great with it. So people shouldn't freak out about defoliation and so forth, bringing that plant up, and
Well,
um,
the reality
look
is
what
all
you can
starts
do
in
with
veg.
that. I wouldn't even go that far with it.
Topping
So
it to get multiple like head pieces. That's the only way you can
right,
make
you got the
yield.
strength going to the place that's going to get good light, dude. There you go. Got good light. Now the LEDs will work well with that. I don't even look like LEDs on there. That's HPS right there, isn't it? Yeah, it's HPS.
If I get this sponsorship, I'll bring you out a super metal halide, bud, and let you try that in your single-ended room. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah. Need to have one in there for sure.
Well, when you plug this in, it actually kind of glows like an orangish yellow.
Yeah.
It's not a bright white or blue.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll get their sponsorship because that's all I want to run are those lights. Because I can get a 10 by 10 pattern, and for veg, that's all you need for making mothers and clones. I can't get a 10 by 10 out of an LED.
A 10 by 10 what? 10?
Area
Oh,
footprint.
I can't. I got new GML lights. I got the fucking 5 by 5 by. They run a 6 by 6. But you can run. I get ready to run those and two of them in a 5 by 10. But you can run those. You get 100% fucking even coverage. But man, it costs you a pretty penny to go ahead and fucking light out. It's about $5,000 to light that all up. But wow, it would be a hell of a light up. But the only problem with, you know what, I kind of like being able to have different small lights that I can adjust towards a plant. Especially when you're dealing with bars. I mean, it's hard to get a whole big canopy all being the same height.
Well,
But different plants. You got different plants. Same plants, yeah, but different plants. You got different strains, and you're trying to light up stuff. It's kind of hard with the big, huge lights like I have now. But I run smaller ones too, and I kind of like being able to adjust them towards different plants. I can get those LEDs down as far as I can get them down. When they get too high, and bump them up a little bit.
The lights that I brought back from Thailand, I would compare those to Grandmaster level lights because I can actually sit there with the control box with 6 of them linked together and control the light spectrum of every one of those lights.
Yeah. Oh, GML,
and then mine also have a 4th driver just for far red.
China. Everything's made fucking China. All he's doing is white labeling it, buying some product and white labeling it. I ain't faulting him for that. They're good lights. But it's typical out of the industry. It's in the industry. Lights get better. Newer thing. But these 5 by 5s, they're really big. I honestly don't. I think that would be the max would ever want a fucking light ever. It's really too big. And probably the 4 by 4 running a 5 by 5 light would be probably better than this 5 by 5 because it is big. It is monstrous. I mean, you really want to be in a big grow, but I said on a big grow, I want even stronger power. In a big grow, I'd probably be all fucking HBS and CMH, running that like that. Trying a big grow, or do something like that. But a small grow, LEDs is the way to go. It's just heat and so forth. Unless you're somewhere cold, you want to heat your house with it. Eagle used to heat his whole house with it. Never heated his house. This grow would heat his house. You duck it through your house, and it'll fucking heat your house.
My house in Michigan, my living room floor was warm as fuck because I had the lights up in the rafters in the basement.
Radiant heat at that point. Yeah.
But yeah, that heated up my house in Michigan. And where I have to grow here, even vegetatively, yeah, HBS metal halides are the way to go because of the heat and the
I was
cold
going to say that.
temperatures.
Different times of the year, that's what I meant to say earlier. Different times of the year, you might want to go that way. If you're fucking somewhere that's hot as fuck and you're fighting heat already, fuck, why are you putting more fucking heat on the goddamn thing? Work with LEDs and make that help the situation out. You know what I mean? It's low on energy and so forth. But in a situation where you're somewhere cold, fuck, man, maybe take advantage of the fucking heat on that thing and take advantage of it. You should take advantage of it because I think the spectrum is fine. not like you're getting anything better with the LEDs. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. I think the LEDs come a long way, but you know, it is what it is. When it
Changes the
didn't work, it
flower
wouldn't be here.
structure.
So, they ain't changed the rolling paper yet. Still fucking
It's still paper
still a little
with
paper.
glue.
Yeah. We got this dab shit and stuff now, but I still old school, dude. My lungs can't take them dabs anymore.
I've actually quit smoking bowls and bongs and just gone strictly to joints because of
You and me
my
both.
lungs.
You and me both. It's just easier on my lungs. You would think it'd be worse on my lungs. Being that it's like no, I guess cooling effect, but maybe there's more cooling effect. I don't know.
I think it's just we're hitting a fresh hit every time.
Maybe. I don't
Because
know,
a
but I
cigarette
just
burns
absolutely
at
turned
like,
to doobies, and my bowls have all sat cold. I only use them. Even now I throw my hash in my fucking doobies now. Fuck it, I just throw the fucking put the hash all in the fucking doobie, smoking a doobie.
yep.
I've got to where I ain't even using those either. You're right. I'm with you, brother. Same deal.
I go
All you
through phases
young
with
people
dabs.
get to
What's
this point.
J5 is mentioning something in chat. I just happened to look up there. What's he saying? Read chat. I can't read chat. I can't read chat. J5, sorry. Not right this moment. Sorry. Hit me up later. LOL. Everybody still there?
Yep, we're
Oh
here.
yeah.
All right.
I'm just freezing my ass off outside.
That
How
sucks.
cold is it already? Under 50?
It's 53 right now. You got to remember 53 to a lot of people from Ohio and Michigan isn't that cold, but when you've been living in Thailand, yeah, 53 is like winter time.
Yeah, well, I'm a SoCal guy, so 50s, yeah, that's cold as fuck.
I've had a lot of convertibles, and it was 58 degrees was the temperature that I could withstand it. After if it was below 58 degrees, no top had to be on. The 58 degrees, I could pop the top, put the heat on, and I would be okay. I could drive on the top off. It was always the fucking number, 58 degrees, right there.
Yeah, well, around here it's starting to get cool in the evening. I'm probably in the 60s, but yeah. Couple nights when I've come outside, I've gotten a hoodie on because I'm starting to get chilly.
We need to shake some boobies. Shake some boobies. Hammy McKenna's going to shake some boobies. One day I had this shot glass going here, and I filled it up with liquor, and the light was giving it a reflection, and it was reflecting through the glass, and it really looked like the girl, the fucking boobies was sitting there fucking shaking and stuff, man. It was a fucking hilarious, dude. The way the light was just coming down. I probably never reproduced it again. It just happened to be that one day I was fucking party with some dudes, and everybody look at this, my fucking boobs are shaking and stuff with a fucking reflection and shit, man. That's fucking hilarious. Ooh, boobies. Booby shots. This is the real booby shot. I got this in Dominican Republic. Cheers to the islands. No, I haven't seen anybody on chat ever from one of the islands. I've seen from a lot of places. Jamaica is one of the islands. I guess I've seen them. Lost to Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, Stony Creek. I can see Chad on TV, J5, but I can't.
Yeah,
like,
I see chat.
I see it
I
on
don't know,
TV,
Jay.
but I can't like go back and look at things. What's up, Stony Creek? I saw you in there, bud.
He says that you have the most resinous finger stains of anybody's ever met.
Damn, that's fucked up, dude. I don't know if it's a compliment or an insult. Fuck.
Mine are pretty orange.
It's kind of changed the color of my nail and shit, man. I've had a discussion
Yeah.
before of like, some might said olive oil. I don't know how olive oil is supposed to work, but
Well, I use oils,
Takes the resin
vegetable
off.
oils sometimes, because like my partner, all the work, they use gloves. I can't. No, I can't. So like my hands get all kinds of sticky, but then I just use oil. That's orange, like what is it
citrus
like?
stuff.
It's like cleaner for construction worker stuff.
Right.
Like
Or it's
that stuff
pumice.
dries out my fucking hands. Or sometimes I'll use alcohol,
I use alcohol.
but that dries you out too.
Like
And
that. Wintertime.
but like if I put gloves on, I don't have any feel. Like if I defoliate with gloves, I'd be like, yeah, no, I need my fingers and my fingernails. And I don't know. I've never, even though I've always bought gloves for people that most everyone that works for me wears gloves all the time. I never wear gloves. I can't stand them. But I have to fucking spend time cleaning my hands a bunch.
Yeah, I don't like the gloves that much either.
And sometimes when I defoliate, I get resin up on my forearms and all over. I think I get a buzz off of it. Like, yeah,
You might. It would be like
The
a fucking
oil.
topical, wouldn't it?
Now I've watched over the years my partner now.
But
yeah, he wears even those. He has those sleeves he
Sleeves,
puts
yeah.
on.
yeah,
He puts a thing. No matter what he does, he gets like he breaks out. He's like started to have like an allergic thing.
Well, yeah, I
Even
didn't know you did
sometimes
that
when he
too,
just
yeah.
weighs or deals
You're
with
allergic to it.
bugs in the
Yeah.
bag. Oh, somehow, and it started a few years ago, a little bit. Oh, it's like yeah, now it's like become more of a thing. I feel bad because he just deals with it, but like a lot of times he'll show me like he gets this like rash or allergies from it. Yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I none of that's happened to me, but happens to people. I had another friend that had that weird that syndrome thing. This was before anybody even heard about it. He would be in the shower for fucking hours and go through these phases. And yeah, that I was like, yeah, that'd be I would hate because ultimately when that you get that, yeah, you pretty much have to like stop consuming because he would go through phases where it would go away and it'd go weeks and be fine and it would come back and then yeah, what do they call it? Cannabis something's now there's like more documentation of it. There's a um, certain people have this syndrome with like yeah, and the weird thing about it is the common uh, symptom thing or whatever they find themselves in the showers because that's the only where it makes them feel better or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Forget what it's called, but like now there's actual documentation of it and shit. Even when he had it, he was going to doctors, but no one knew anything didn't really help any. But I used to think what it was something in his metabolism, because it would clear up and he could smoke for months and not have it, and then it would hit again. That like something's building up, whatever it is, a can of something that his body isn't like dissipating normally. And then when it got to that level, he'd make him sick. And yeah, he used to think it was neem or pesticides, like so many things. But ultimately, I'm not really friends with him anymore. But for years, yeah, he had that whatever they call that syndrome, which I was like, God, I hope I never get that. That would suck to have to basically not smoke.
We lose the captain. Oh,
But I remember my first wife, she was
I'm gonna get a drink real quick.
what, shellfish or whatever you call that. She loved that shit and ate so much of it that she eventually created allergies toward it. Like that can happen.
It's all in moderation now. That's what I find.
Yeah. Those babies are getting big over there.
Are you watching me?
That's it.
Up the next set of stairs.
Well, I remember in the 80s, 90s that weed was so resiny, and when you smoke joints and spit out resin, that yeah, I had stains on my fingers from it and on my lip, right? Where today weed is crusty and fucking resiny as ever, but
No oil.
yeah, I remember the first green buds and outdoor or whatever in the late 80s. Yeah, that shit would, if the weed wasn't even that like crusty, like visibly like it is today, but we roll a joint, like a few hits in, resin would be spitting out. Half the reason a roach couldn't smoke it past a certain point, it just got too fucking resiny.
Well, that's why I went to smoking with tips, because it gave me something to hold on to, and it didn't get my lips all like resiny.
Yeah, I mean, I basically smoke predominantly joints, but no, I smoke joints. I probably roll anywhere from 6 to 12 of them a day, depending. I don't try to roll perfect joints. I have my way, but it takes me like a minute to roll a joint. Years ago, I remember realizing life's pretty short, and like how much time out of your life you spend like every day you roll like whatever it is. So it's 10, 15 minutes. So it doesn't seem like much, but then, per year, per your whole life, wow. Like you end up spending like a huge, like even dabbing where people have the dunk tank and each hit have to clean the thing and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, how much time do you spend out of your life? As I got older, I started thinking about things like that. Like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
now when I go to a show or well, then I spend a little more time and try to roll joints a
Nicer
little more
looking joints.
perfect. And I don't like tips, but I don't mind like a little bit of weed getting in your mouth and spitting it out or whatever. So that's part of it. And my joints smoke. They're fine by me, but they're not like, I watch Be Real sometimes, and they have this segment, or people send in pictures and they rate how perfect the joint is, where they're really fucking like, they zoom in if it has like even the slightest imperfection, they point it out and shit. Yeah.
Like that. Does it smoke or not canoe?
Well,
If it
like one of
doesn't canoe, that's perfect.
my customers has built a business selling those, what would you call them, but whatever, this half gram, but there's he
Dog
puts
walker.
rosin and keef in them. His business has scaled where he's at a point where, and he knows this already, he rolls them himself. And yeah, the few times I've sampled with him, you could smoke it all the way, right? It's all the way through. Where if you use like a machine or a thing to make it easier to do at scale, yeah, you won't have that ability to, yeah, something about a hand rolled joint, wherever it's cone or whatever.
Yeah, you ever see those machines where they roll a whole bunch of like pre-rolls?
Yeah.
I think this machine's like vibrating like
Yeah.
where the tricones going? And that's the bottom of that motherfucking machine. Okay. I want to smoke one of them.
Have
Well,
you
a
ever
lot of
seen
times-
the industrial grinders that they have? You imagine how many trichlomes are lost in that.
Bad, dude.
And a lot of times the machine or pre-rolls that I've like smoked, they run or they don't smoke evenly or stuff where,
Canoe.
yeah.
That's why I like the regular rolling machines, because I can get like half the weed in there and put a hash snake, or I can go to the crumble and I can just flake off crumble in that center, put more weed on it, and it smokes like a regular joint, except
think
for the crumble, you have to hold it downwards for the oils to go back towards the burning.
Well, I think it all starts too with grinder, because I mean, I have used the same company grinder, but it's the same method. There's multiple companies that make them this way. But then the few times like at my partner's house, he has this other fucking like grinder that, yeah, when we roll joints, same weed out of that grinder, yeah, it doesn't it doesn't smoke right, or it doesn't have this right taste or the right, even though grinder, but
all grinders are the same.
You know,
I
even
went to the
myself,
mill
I've learned
grinder.
like I basically just barely turn it once or half, like try not to like over grind it. And that's where but I still believe like if I really want to smoke a killer joint and have a like
scissors.
Yeah, there's a certain way that smokes. But okay, if I rolled every joint that way, that would take me 3, 4, 5 minutes, right? Well, okay, now you spent X amount of time of your day, even though I don't know what else I do with my fucking time, but somehow a few years ago, I had this weird thought of like, yeah, how much time in my life have I spent fucking rolling fucking joints?
Labor of love.
If I roll 5 joints and I have to break up the weed and everything, man, those 5 joints take me like 20 minutes to roll.
And I like to roll a joint that kind of like stays lit, even if you don't take a hit for a few. It might almost look like it's out, but if you hit it, it's still going. Where I've gone through phases where I lost the knack, or all of a sudden I'm rolling joints that I don't know. I go through phases over the years, and out of all the strains I grow, the apples bananas, which is killer. When you roll a joint that, you have to relight it. If you don't just keep hitting it, it goes out. Where like the other strains, you can pretty much, it stays going.
Not mine.
Which a lot of that's because concerts, like when you smoke at a concert, you still got to cut. Even now with weed being legal, it's more of a like you got to watch it, right? So lighting it a bunch, that's how you're gonna get spotted. And if it just keeps hitting, and you can hold it by your side and then hit it a minute or two later and it's still going, that's a good joint.
Yeah.
I don't know about that because my weed is coming back from Thailand and smoking the weed in Thailand. Every once in a while, you get a little bit of resin ring. I mean, just a little bit. The weed back here in the States that I'm smoking, man, I get a 1/4 inch resin ring on it.
Well,
And they go right out.
when I used to mix keef in joints, was mainly to go to shows, because if you put keef or some hash in a joint, that thing will stay lit. The fucking won't go out.
I smoked a hash joint out of the roller that literally took me 30 minutes to smoke it. It may have had a lot of hash in it, but it took me 30 minutes to smoke that joint.
Can anybody in chat tell me how many booby shots I've had? Ready for another one?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4? You think 4? I think it's 3.
I think you're at 4.
Thinking of 4? Well, I haven't drank anything. I don't drink alone.
2, I
So,
think.
I'm a real social drinker. I gotta have somebody around to drink with somebody.
Well, that's what I'm drinking tonight. Woodford's double oaked. Matter of fact, I'm gonna need a new bottle of that soon.
Oh, yeah, it's I got a lot of people that frown on me because I'll indulge online. And guys, you know where we came from? Came from a world where there ain't no way you could have smoked pot on any type of platform. But yeah, you could have, indulged in all kind of alcohol. No problem at all. Now people want to turn it around like, you can't drink on a platform. Like, are you kidding me, people? You have any idea how ironic that is and how fucking hypocritical that is? It's like one way it was you were protesting marijuana like it was so bad. And now people want to act like, you shouldn't drink. Some people definitely abuse everything, and other people should not abuse everything. I don't indulge for everybody because I indulge and same deal with marijuana. You can say the same thing about marijuana. You should smoke pot on marijuana online. What? Well, ain't hurt nobody. Nobody hurt me.
And you're at home.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. If you keep your shit together and it's not affecting or hurting somebody else, well, then you know, it's all good.
It only happened one time. One time, I ain't gonna say where it happened, where it was, but I got too drunk, and I should not have been online. I should not have been online. I didn't even remember being online. And they told me the next day I got a text message that said, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, why are you calling after me? Am I okay?" Like, you was pretty fucked up last night. Was?
I think
Yeah,
I've
I
seen that
was,
show.
but how do you know that? They were like, "Oh yeah, hey, you might want to look online." I was like, "Oh shit." I was pretty fucked up, man. I left it go. They didn't cut it out, but it probably got YouTube. I took it off anyways. But
So
it did happen. Did it happen once? I got too fucked up online.
you guys are more hooked into the Michigan thing. So Thug Pug, he's a breeder from Michigan, right?
Northern
Pug,
Michigan.
Yes, he is.
Right. So
Very good breeder.
our new strain, we only have clones of it. I haven't actually seen or smoked the weed, but the guy that we got the clones from, he doesn't ever give us anything that we regret having. So I just pulled it up on Seed Thing or whatever. So it's Lurch is the genetic is Lurch crossed into a GMO cookies, which Lurch, I've never heard of Lurch, which when I pulled that up, I didn't read all what Lurch is, but I guess that's something that is in his genetic, because he has other crosses that are into Lurch. Multiple places say it's 90% indica, which, all right, I like that.
Yep.
Oh shit! I'm gonna trip my ass off.
Basically, if your weed doesn't get me high and stoned for an hour and a half, it sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
I am gonna print those shirts again. Your weed sucks. But I'm going down to Southern Ohio and picking up a whole bunch of older cuts.
Okay, so it says Lurch is something that Thug Pug uses as a male. And on the other hand, Lurch is a mysterious strain. Unfortunately, we know little of its origins. All we know is Lurch gets a frequent mention in Thug Pug genetics. Usually I don't really read all this stuff. Most of the time, Green Fingers clues me into things I have that I don't even know what the fuck. Because even as I'm looking at all this,
fucking hundreds of packs.
He has one called Fruitopian Lurch. It's really good. Thug Pug.
well, we'll see how it goes. But it'll be the first time I think I've grown something that I know is from Michigan.
I'll bring out some pure Michigan. My debit card got hit like before I even made it back to the States. And within 3 months, 2.5 months, my bank account went from a good amount to zero.
Oh,
So
so wait,
I'm fighting with the bank on that
Uh,
right now.
have you heard of he works with a guy called Gromer Wanda. So Mulefield's actually bred by Michigan-based grower Groomer. It's Gromer Wanda under the Thug Pug name. Gromer and Thug Pug have developed a solid reputation, so they work together. They made Meat Breath and Sure Breath previously, and Gromer created Mulefield. Things you learn.
Anything they hit with that breath, that just takes stuff up a notch.
Yeah, I've got some Sure Breath. What is it? Jordan of the Isles? Jordan of the Islands? Is that what it is? Man, I got so much stuff to run. Hell, I got stuff that Captain gave me a while to run. Well, you tell me it's a 14-hour fucking 14-week strain. Holy shit. I got a plan for that one.
Man,
I got
those
a plan
seeds.
for I got like plan for this out of sequence plan.
Those seeds that I gave you seeds by the handful when I should have been giving those out in 10 packs. That's how good those seeds are.
Oh, they're that good, huh? But if like you told me they're like 14 weeks.
What you got to do is you got to grow a female out to like 6 feet tall, take a clone of it, root it in 12-12, and then you can even kick it back to 8-16, 8 hours on, 16 hours off if you're having a problem getting it to flower. But yeah, they want to grow for like ever, but you're going to end up with like a
Wow.
16, 20-foot tall plant.
Wow. So I can't hardly hold that in my fucking room. So I'll be fucking super cropping the shit out of it. But I like
You
super
have
cropping
like
the
a
shit out of stuff.
4-foot cola though.
I
5 foot.
I love super cropping shit, dude. I actually, like I almost like get off all that. I want to beat you up, plant. I want to kick you over and shit. Fuck you. Knock that bitch over. She's like, oh, fuck you. I'm going to go bigger. Okay. A bad thing, what it? Oh, I'm a sick fuck.
See, there's a lot of strains that I have that, okay, at like internode 6, 7, 8, I'll top it to take another clone. But I don't do any more like super cropping or anything like that because I'm growing for myself. So I'm looking for big buds. I want those nice heady nuggets.
Well, I want that top nug. I want as many top nugs as I can get.
Yeah, like
top
these
nugs
are
always seem to be the best fucking nug. When they're getting the most lights.
this section's like our redundancy, keeping like the moms or whatever, and like we because they grow in the jungles and like so fast, we just keep chopping them down to like basically nothing. Sometimes it's just barely a few leaves, and then within a few weeks it fucking just become this huge monster again.
And when it does that, give me a call and I'll book my plane ticket and my razor blade.
Just a few,
I
less than a
take it
week
that
ago.
far, and you show us that's the extreme versus what I even do, and still have fantastic results. So People should not be
No,
scared
these
to
ones are
fucking ship the
never
ship up
end
on
up
plants.
in flowering or anything. They just become like
It's-
it's like a backup redundancy. Like, oh, we have all the new strains that are rooted here, and then like just less than a week ago,
You guys-
maybe 16 or 18 of them, because there was 2 trays. We just straight culled them because they had served their purpose. It's like it's like a redundancy, like backup, like make sure you always have the genetics. But then after a month or so, these become just too fucking unruly. And then in these clones, there's extras. There's always a few extras. They will become like the next round of the extra backups of each. Like in here, there's like a couple of each kind as just redundancy. Yeah.
Oh, so you're not gonna flower? You're not gonna flower those plants?
No. These are like moms, basically, or the backup.
Okay, so you're just giving
Where
us the
like
bomb
this has just been like we cleaned up and we got rid of the older ones, because then when these clones will take clones from those plants. We don't ever even really ever use these, but they're just like this backup in case you never know.
Right.
And there's a few of my friends that periodically
get them.
Take them and they just put them out in their backyard and they flower pretty much because
Right.
they come from the indoor.
Yeah.
And I used to. That was my outdoor, my spot for years. That's what I would do. I took plants. It's just part of our system. Like, but like, even though all these are all cut back right now, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, they'll be up in the fucking lights in fucking huge jungle. Like, you cut plants back and really cut them back. You're always amazed how they come back like fucking fiercer than hell, you know? And these are like seeds, the new seeds that I have going from a friend of mine made of what's the one is Star Fruit crossed into Starburst 36, and the other one is Pancake Wilson Starburst 36. And I don't know, like having this place messing with seeds, which could harm or seed a whole room. Oh, that's the risk reward is
very little.
Well, like right now I have one. This plant right here is 8 days in. I'll have to get my glasses, but I have to sex it. It's a Pancake Wilson Starburst. We'll see.
Yeah, God forbid if you seed those rooms.
Well, yeah, and
the house was a different story, but doing one of those,
flower?
Yeah, and
flower, right?
Yeah, this is in flower, but
just flip them.
Even over the years, the economy of the whole thing, unless you're making seeds to be a breeder, but that's not me. I've always just focused on seedless weed. There's no value in seeded weed. I mean, I guess you could try to make edibles or even extract it, but nah. And when I was on this crazy cracking pack after pack for a few years, I had 2 instances that, I missed the mail or whatever happened. Oh, the whole room got seeded.
Yeah.
You screwed up the Death Star seeds I gave you.
Which there was other things going on. Like the one time, me and Captain were on a motorhome at the beach festival for like a week. And before I went on that trip, I pulled out the mails and went through. Okay, I thought I got them all. A week later, when I came home, I realized, oh shit, that one I missed, but it was too late by then. And so, okay, that's what happens when you go to a festival for a week in the middle of sexing plants and shit.
But out of that, you actually created something that a lot of people like.
Yeah, well, I gave all those out to be. I didn't even. One thing I realized worse than trimming would be, I guess you call it shucking, like separating the seeds from like. So after spending a little bit of time with that, I would just send. Like when I sent Greenfinger seeds, I just sent him the weed. He had to get the seeds out of the weed. That was like way too much time. I mean, I could have, I guess, built something or got a little more organized, but like I realized, holy shit, this is like time consuming to get them all separated, get all the sheaf or and count them, package them. Oh, no, fuck that.
Here's how Bud gives out seeds, okay? This is Mike and Larry's, I think. But yeah, you just get a bunch of flour shoved into a pack.
Yeah, but I
That's
also
all
figure
seeded.
at least there you get an idea of what the fucking weed was. Because like you would bring up Mike and Larry. When this happened, I had like multiple trays, all these different strains. And even though a couple of the trays were like at different stages and all the way on the other side of the room, oh, as the whole thing got cycled through, it seeded everything and like probably like a dozen different kinds that were all like solid, things. And I never grow any of my own seeds because it's like that was a colossal fuck up. So I don't want to like even think about it. I try to forget it. But then I've gave them out a bunch of different people, and a few of the things fucking did great. But it wasn't like I tried to make seeds or was trying to become a seed maker. No, that's not mine.
We went to a festival.
Yeah, but it goes, like, well, I mean, it wasn't like it was all good genetics. So, yeah, good things would come out of that. To me, like making seeds, if I like really got into that, I would have to be the guy that would like have to run the pheno hunt and run it a few times to like even know if you would breed
It's
with
worth
that
running.
one. Where I see a lot of the seed people today just seem to just take this plant and this plant, like even on their first growing of it, and then pollinate it with another plant, make X, Y, and Z. But I don't know. I'm one of these people that think you got to know your variety. Like even when I would select through seeds, I'd have to run it 2-3 times before I make real decisions. Like, oh yeah, that first run, there'd be obvious ones that you would say, all right. But in the end, sometimes it would take 2 or 3 runs for me to decide if this one or that one, or if any of them were worthy of going forward, not off of just one run.
Especially a seed run.
Well, an indoor, things acclimate. So sometimes a seed plant might grow one way, and then after a couple times, it acclimate to your thing, your trip. Because I noticed that happened a bunch of times. Like a lot of times, even my other friend, he takes clones off the mother plant grows the clones and never flowers, or just basically gets rid of the mother plant. Which, yeah,
It's a mistake.
because a lot of times the vigor in the seed plant is not really indicative of how that clonal plant will grow. Like a lot of times, oh, it'll stretch or be way vigorous as a seed plant, but then as you clone it a couple times, it levels off and acclimates to your what you're doing.
I think so. Personally,
You know, I
I
get
do
that.
I think
too.
it acclimates to what your conditions are, or it will flat out turn against it. It will flat out turn against it, and
Yeah.
you just see, oh, this don't this. For whatever reason, this plant just rejecting it. After a few runs, it's just like all of a sudden, you just don't want it. It ain't what you want it. But yeah, it'll come to it, and it'll like it, and it'll start, it'll thrive in what you give it. I look for those plants and they keep those plants.
Like years ago when I really was working with Swerve and Cali Connection gear mostly, I would maybe do 1 or 2 packs, and you would have to like go crack the whole pack, and you might have X amount of them to pheno hunt. You were lucky if in a pack you found a keeper. Like I can remember, oh, it wasn't like bad, but a keeper, one that you were going to like clone for years to come. Where today, oh, most packs, yeah, you find keepers for sure. Like they're more uniform or, but like 10, 15 years ago, yeah, like you buy a pack of 12, you might strike out that first one as finding the one that everyone is coveting, the keeper. It wasn't in those 12 seats. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Here's
packed
an
back then. I used to
example.
go through a lot of packs where, yeah, I grew it out.
They were all F2s.
But then never, like, none of it was like keeper status. Where, and then all of a sudden, a pack, whatever pack you did, oh, there it was, the keeper Tahoe cut or the Blackwater or different ones over the years where, yeah, it was hit or miss, and you kind of knew that buying the pack.
Slot machine, yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was, yeah.
where today,
I still have packs of those seeds.
So we went through 700 NL5s to find 2 of the ones that Neville used in his breeding. 700 seeds to find 2.
yeah, and
But
over the years,
we can redo Neville stuff though now.
probably, I don't know, 100. I don't know how many packs I've gone through. I've gotten things that I've kept and ran for a long time, but through clone and friends and that way, more things I acquired that were worthy and running, and yeah, came through that way, which I get it, because most of the time that's like already been, the reason it's being passed around, or it's a thing, is because, oh, it's already proven itself. Where like a couple years ago, like my partner, it was really him that one night having dinner, we were talking, and he just slid in there. Out of all, because he'd see all these seeds, hear me talk about all these varieties. I was all totally into this, cracking every pack I could get a hold of, and I got a hold of a lot. He's like, out of the things we're really running, are they any of those from that? Have we kept any? And no, the things we were really running came through our clone connection. I was like, yeah, putting all this effort, all this risk in trying to search for things that I already have.
Down to the road.
Oh, when I come out to see you, bud, I think I'm gonna run down to Mexico too.
Now, a cut and a seeds or whatever I'd like to get from someone is that guy, the OG Josh or the OG guy, Josh D or something like that. Yeah.
Josh D. I think you'd like to have some of mine.
Hey, I'll try anything. Shit, I just went through like all those legacy strains this year. But even that, like, oh, okay, I'm still running Larry, but out of all those, I-95, Bubba, fuck, there were so many, Topanga Kush, forget all the names. Yeah, none of them met all the criteria of today's need, like
Market.
yield, time, trimming, all of it, every little factor. Veg time, all that shit. Being similar enough to the other ones that it's all in the same cycle.
Why has YouTube got a different language? What do I call it? Words coming up.
Or you probably have captioning on, and yeah, you can pick different languages and it.
Show
think that's
captions,
it.
show captions right in different language on my feed. That for Christopher?
Well, Christopher's French, and
Yeah, French.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
cool
see
dude.
him tonight.
He was in here. He was chat.
He's usually in here, and
He was in
We
chat.
and I
we
know him
can't
so
say
so
shit
long.
to it.
I don't understand anything, but like his expression or his,
Yeah, he's having a
I
good
pretty
time.
much like it's like, oh, cannabis is a universal
Got a
language.
good
So
vibe.
yeah,
Yeah.
big force. Like that's what he always says, right? Big force.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
another doobie, I guess.
I imagine with AI and even the tech that exists, oh, we could translate or get.
Not Thai. Thai, translating from English into Thai is a fucking bitch.
That's
You're
fresh.
going from a language that has a couple vowels to a language that has like 26 of them.
Well, like on Instagram, I follow a couple of musicians that are Chinese, and so they make posts and it's all in Chinese. But then I could hit right there, translate, and boom, it puts it all in English. They don't have that for Thai. I'm sure they do.
They do,
Now,
but
sometimes
not words don't translate.
There's sometimes when I read it, I see that it like, yeah, like kind of might have missed a spot or like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, didn't translate everything perfect. But yeah, I follow a few people in different language where I just click translate, boom, says it in English.
Well, do that to Thai, and you're going to look at some sentences and go, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, just hearing people speak Thai, it seems.
Oh, man. And then you get up north where I'm at, and a lot of my friends are Aka. which is the Northern Hill tribe that didn't become Thailand till like 1936. But they speak Aka, which is kind of like Thai, but different. And I'm starting to understand Thai, and then all of a sudden I got to start learning Aka too. Holy shit, it was hard enough going from Bangkok to the north
Yeah, but think how
because
many.
20 baht in the south is Izzy baht, and in the north it's Sao baht.
I would struggle with that.
Yeah, but think of how many people, whether they're Thai native or Chinese or whatever, that learn English.
Yeah.
No.
But even my best friend in Thailand, I'd sit down, I'd smoke Afghani mango with him in the beginning for like the first 4 to 5 months. And we would just sit there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and really not say anything to each other because he got so stoned that he couldn't like translate English into Thai and then Thai back into English to carry on a conversation with me. We went through 36 strains before COVID ended.
Yeah, I'd spend some time in Thailand, that's for sure.
I actually have a friend going to Thailand with me. He's going to leave from Aruba and come spend a month in Thailand with me.
Look at my hat. I just
Yeah.
got back from Aruba. I was in Aruba on a cruise.
You got to go down there and you got to look for double A sound and lights and Aruba will playing.
I don't know when I'm going back to Aruba again, but Aruba is a favorite place of mine to be.
So yeah, I'm gonna show him around Thailand, Laos, Cambodia for a month. We're going over. He's coming over at the best time of the year. Thai New Year and Songkran, which is the water festival. And then we're going to go to a 420 Ganja Cup that hopefully I have someone running 2 strings in it because I got pissed off because no one told me that Arjun was entering strains into it. And King's Juice took like first and third place by 2 different farms. And I'm sitting with a whole bunch of shit that would just annihilate it.
Yeah, I'm learning all them fucking these play things, award things. They're all rigged up. It ain't like they specifically rigged toward one person or anything, but they're rigged to, it's like if you got a booth at that event, they're gonna make sure you have one of your strains are gonna be one of the winners. You know what I mean? And so, and it's just kind of like it's business. Let's just say that. But
Yeah.
that's just I can't write any validity in it just because of it's always the people that it's kind of like it's bought and sold. I mean,
Well, yeah, it's because when
I paid for the main band to be at this thing. So yeah, I should have won first, second, and third.
From 2010 to like 15, I had High Times booth, entered cups, but more than that, I had a company, and like even one of the better accomplishments was when they had the first vapor pen review. Oh, my pen and company, which like all the pens were the same fucking crap from China, but whatever, was ranked number one. But it was a like kind of like it wasn't like out open, but like, oh, if you didn't have ad, you didn't spend certain money, like you weren't going to get any of those things. It was like a pay as you play type thing. The actual cup entries and stuff, yeah, it's hard for me to say because I won one as just a like grower. Really, I wasn't like a one of those entities. I was home basically a whatever. But oh, I was like had my amounts of money. I had ads in every like magazine, booth. Like there's oh yeah, if you weren't uh playing the game, yeah, you weren't gonna. Yeah, it was that. That's business, right? That was what that was.
I just screwed up. Pretty bad move.
It's you know because High Times influenced me from my dad having on the coffee table to even one from my parents' house that had an article about Fallbrook, California, way back when weed exposés weren't as big of a thing in High Times. It was more about other drugs way back in like 70s or 80s. And then I ended up living in that town. Like it was like full circle living in that town for 20 some fucking years. But, and then was involved business with them and all that. But I read recently like the demise of like, yeah, this certain group invested and bought High Times whatever years ago and basically took a like pretty good valued asset that had its potential and ruined it and completely ruined it to where it's basically
They're out of business now,
yeah,
aren't they?
it went bankrupt. It's done. Yeah, it's more debt than work. Yeah, all that is. And the article or the story was basically pointing out all the like totally backwards ass decisions they made in the quest of like, oh, they bought this asset or invested in it, thinking that it was going to turn into this like, oh, they were going to make all this money. They tried to, you know, make so much money that they basically just totally ruined something in less than whatever years. It's not even that many years. Discredited it.
Fornicade made that magazine in 1974.
Well, I'll say this about High Times. Like, as far as like their ethics from like the beginning of time, like with what they, who they were, what they stood for, I'll never forget because the main back page or fold out ads were, remember these companies that basically sold fake weed? Like it wasn't even weed or CBD or any of that. It was just straight. And they would have these ads that listed like every strain name that was popular and all this shit, right? That was like basically a complete, like, yeah, they took money, ad money from a company that was like basically a scam, right? Yeah, and like other ads they had that were basically questionable as far as like being legit.
Argent bought the High Times Cup a couple times,
Well,
like multiple.
yeah, the early Amsterdam ones seemed like there was, I wasn't there or whatnot, but it seemed to be like part of like Mark. I don't know, like who knows, but yeah, competing in the, I get the, yeah, I did it. but yeah, is that
Yeah, but you
I
go
don't
to
know.
one of these events and you ain't got a booth at that one of that events, you ain't gonna win shit.
And even during those years, I judged a few times, and my wife and my one friend David Quinn. Yeah, I remember then realizing, yeah, how do you like say this is better than this? Oh, it's easy to go, these ones aren't on the same level as these ones. And oh, here are the ones that like are the contenders. But yeah, I don't know. Like at a certain point, yeah, they they were all like special. Why would this one be better than that one? And most of the time, whatever got one became like a big marketing thing.
Yeah,
right.
that's what I saw too. It was a marketing thing. So now they can have a trophy there on their booth, so they can like go buy our stuff because our stuff is so great. And it's promotion of each other. It's a promotion of each other. So I just always found they're always the winners. So don't waste your money on trying to put your stuff out there, thinking yours is the best when you're probably better than this shit, but it doesn't matter. You don't give them money; they give them back these trophies and help promote their business.
Well, like what? It's only
And
really
like you
10
went to
years
the
ago.
Clio Cup and was entering Sativa, and then John from Happy Tree Seed Company just was dominating for like 4 or 5 years in that category. But he
But
put
like
out fire.
the difference between
I don't think they don't got
15,
shit.
20 years ago
They
to
just give them
even
money, so this helps
like
them.
like around 2015. Back then, High Times basically like that was the name event, right? And Cup, right? There might have been a couple other little things, but then in today's world, geez, there's like how many of them? They all have some meaning, and they all are to be proud of. But like having whatever accolades, there's so many of them that it's not like, oh well, a couple of them mean more than others, like Emerald Cup or this or that, right? They have more like I guess legitimacy or history, but
Well,
shit, there's so many of them. Like holy shit, like
Fire in the hole.
even the year I got I got third. Kyle Cushman got second. What I thought was weird about that was because like there were certain like parameters to it. Wait, Kyle Cushman works for you, your magazine. Like, oh, he also had Bread and Roses, or wait, he had a like a legit dispensary in LA called Bud and Roses,
Yeah,
right? But like he also was an employee of High Times, and then he enters the cup, and then he gets. Uh, yeah, I thought that was like, yeah, maybe that's a little weird. There was
I
always
met
weird things.
I met Kyle when he was still in New York and still an underground an outlaw
Well,
grower.
during that time, High Times was like a place of information, and like even before the forums, like where you could learn, or there'd be, you know, some basic stuff in there. Kyle Cushman, that was his thing. Like as the articles he put out was, you know, which at that time that was a big thing. I mean, it wasn't like the internet was barely going, or the forums kind of became a bigger place of that. But for a long time, like where else would you get any kind of grow tips or whatnot? High Times,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, it was
Like they
And that,
like it's a shame to me. It's sad because like they're like institution that then basically is destroyed at this point, gone. Like I don't know what they could have became, but like whatever happened was a shame. Like holy shit, High Times. Like
well, Normal sold out about 9 years ago.
well, that's the thing. We live in a whole different era with money, investments, and all that shit. And magazines are dead. So like, wait, High Times, every other magazine, even ones that were, uh, like mainstream, but like were, uh, what do you call it? Like, yeah, they there's no more magazines. You know what I mean?
It's all on the internet.
Yeah. Well, in that High Times, well, yeah, they just did a bad job. They discredited themselves. Like, yeah, how like considering how cannabis grew and it became what how they fucked that up. Yeah, that's a pretty big fuck up.
Put on too many cannabis cups in too many states.
Well, part of it they started to have their own dispensary. Like they had all these like they tried to recreate themselves and basically it was profit driven and yeah.
You blew it.
Like this event I'm going to on the 12th, I'm literally taking down 11 different Normal t-shirts because I have to introduce myself to this group again because basically I got into an argument with the Athens Garden grower and never went back down to Athens again. And now there's this whole new generation of people that don't know who I am.
Well, it's kind of a shame Norm is like where it's at because Norm was nationally like they had chapters in every state and they would be like the side of
I
it to try to like be the people's voice in
we were.
legalization. That's what they stand for, right? Normalization, legalization, and then as it happened, basically their job was done or whatever happened, but like actually an organization like that is what
Should
the
keep on
cannabis
fighting.
community really needs to have a voice you know.
And I'm going down. It's actually the Southern Ohio Normal Group is what it is. And they're putting on events in Athens, which is perfect because you've got Ohio University there. And that's also what we call Ohio's Golden Triangle, our Green Triangle.
Well, most states could use like some organization to call them on the bullshit and be like the centralized watchdog of like the bullshit that's going on.
I think we do a pretty good job on YouTube of doing that.
Yeah, but just look at the view,
Thank God
like,
for
yeah,
YouTube.
compared to how big the cannabis consumer are, YouTube, yeah,
has
I mean,
died.
well, no, I mean, but like, yeah, like an
There's
organization like
too many shows.
Normal back when we were fighting for the legalization, whatever state had it up, they would mobilize, they raised money, they had rallies, they had press, they had lawyers that involved. It was like that. They were part of how we got where we are.
On the back of our normal membership cards was a pager number to our lawyer. And we paid half, or we paid the full bill if
Yeah,
you
but
got really
uh,
screwed.
I didn't really pay. What year did they just basically? I mean, does it? You say it exists, it got bought or whatever, but like,
It
where
was like 14 or 15 they got bought,
you don't see
or they
them
sold out.
at all in cannabis today, right? It's not like they have any presence.
Well, Michigan had a presence, but when you lose your president, and that's the biggest thing here in Ohio.
Well,
The
it wasn't
president of our North Coast chapter was president from day one until the day he died.
okay, but basically, wasn't Norman's biggest effort was fundraising, right? Because that's what it took to
Yeah,
have, right?
I
Yeah.
remember writing a $10,000
Well,
check to start off the Normal Foundation so they
n-
could fight politically.
now that we became legal, them trying to ask for donations to support an organization to have any kind of weight, yeah, like people wouldn't back then. People did. They donated to try to help in the cause of, because in California we had all these different ballots over the years. Oh, they all lost miserably. Like it was always a thing until Prop 215, which was, oh, there's a lot of like, yeah, Norm was in on it, but more than that was the AIDS thing and this those groups. They got a lot of press or with the, yeah, that was really what got 215 passed. But then
I'm
since
going to tell
then,
you what got 215 passed was Peter Lewis donating like $2.5 million so you can run ads for the last 2.5
okay,
months to
but
push
like
it.
today, you would think that an organization similar to that, it would have to have modernized for the issues of the day, would be, especially with federal legal, with the scheduling thing, with so many things. Like that's what I see missing is Norm, and there was another organization, maybe not as big, that what was it called? That that was about
Oh,
legal.
shit. I forget the name of it. It was out
The
of the
first
West Coast.
rallies I went to that saw Jack Hare different, they were like Norm was like they put it on. They had their speakers that it was like a rally to donate or do or get the vote out. Like that went on for years in California when I was younger. Where today, yeah, we should have an organization like that. And the bigger the players should be supporting it, uh, cookies and whoever's the biggest should be biggest donators. Except that the reality is nobody agrees on the same thing. Like you would have to have like some, oh, back then it was just as simple as voting to legalize weed. Today you would be like, yeah, well, this is, this state's legal system is wrong. It's not doing this or that, or uh, even trying to change the system that seems to be broken.
In 97, 98, 99, we had one normal chapter in Ohio, but we had 4 different storefronts in Ohio that we worked out of, that we actually supported and backed with money, because I had taken the chapter from 340 some people to over 500 within 4 years.
Because what I see
We were
possible
larger
happening
than
is
California.
when the federal thing starts to change, they'll look at the system in the states. It's so, I don't know, it's not really working. Like alcohol and tobacco is basically through them, right? They set the system for that, right? At the moment, each state has its own cannabis thing in Brunswick. But if the feds go, okay, cannabis is now federally
We're
they're going to
screwed.
look at the state systems and go, oh, this, like, because it isn't working. Like the reality of it is it isn't working. So,
Well,
you
just
know, like,
look at Ohio.
but like a
Oh,
lot of systems that go through that, like, okay, it's new. Uh, this is how we started it. Here's better ideas. But the way the systems work and the politics, oh, you don't see that.
no.
It's like, oh, Michigan, California, Colorado, Washington, the states that have years of it. Colorado, California, we don't make any changes. It's like, that's it. Colorado, I've noticed, oh, now are those changes good? Like most of them, us would say, oh, that's a fucked up rule or whatever. I don't like that. Oh, they have to be in sealed packages or this, that, or the other. But they do make changes. Uh, yeah, like the way I look at it, the system is the
It's all
metric,
fucked
the whole
up.
taxation, the regulation, the whole way it's set up in most states.
It's the plant
It's
like tomatoes and shit we growing. No, it's no different than tomatoes.
yeah, it's not one. It's really like basically not for the people. Like like it's already become like this investment corporate. You got to play at this level way here, right?
Yeah.
Where
Man, I
at the
got
beginning
3
it
pounds
seemed
of
like, oh yeah,
fudge.
mom and pop and people could have a small business or operate. Nope, real quickly that's not the way it is, because I think, yeah, if you had a vertically integrated place, relatively small, produced it, had right to the shelf, and had pride in your thing, and were in a neighborhood and built customer relationships, oh, you would have uh, a successful business. Now, would it be the most profitable thing ever? No, right? But that's not even something you could have, right? Unless you go play at this certain level, which makes it, once you even get there, you're forced to have to get even
Bigger.
bigger to whatever. Yeah, who's that good for? And the jobs that they talked about, those end up being low paying dead end jobs for the most part. And
But Ohio says, oh, it's going to create this many jobs and everybody is going to get paid X amount of
well, I mean,
dollars.
I'm sure I could
Okay.
go on
They gave a
YouTube.
dollar bill, they gave a dollar figure of it. And it worked out where everybody was making like $52 an hour.
Like in
Well,
California,
a bud tender job in Ohio is $12.50, people.
when we voted in for Prop 64, in the months before that, it wasn't the predominant political ads before the campaign, but there were these ads from the both sides, and the the whole thing was, it promised money for schools and infrastructure, all this money,
Never
right?
happens.
it promised jobs. Like that's what like had all these things, which yeah, it has the potential for all that, except
Don't
that
work
somehow
someday.
the system they put in place uh isn't creating that. Like they've shown the data where the money goes. Like, yeah, that's not um
Where
happening.
they said it was going.
But they did that with the lottery too. Like the lottery was like, oh yeah, it's gonna go for schools and all this, and they do claim
The
this huge
elderly.
amount of money, but the lottery's grown to this massive thing, a billion fucking at all these different games. You'd think schools would be like fucking beyond set because when they passed the lottery thing, that was the whole thing that the money was going to the schools. That was their thing at whatever it
Schools
was 20 years ago.
and senior citizens is where it was
Yeah.
supposed to go.
Well, like I just think like a thing like Norm would be a voice for that type of like because we don't have a voice at all.
No, that's why I'm going down to Southern Ohio to the Southern Ohio Normal Group because there's like 4 normal groups in Ohio, but there's only one doing
Well-
anything.
Well, for the most part, each state is its own thing. But when federal starts to happen, that's when like
We're all fucked.
the voice part of matters because there's things in certain states that make sense, like New York, where you could smoke cigarettes, you could smoke weed, or Michigan has the caregiver. Certain states have
That's something different.
some things that make sense,
Yeah.
and other things like to me the packaging and the way that the
Yes,
store
star.
has to sell it to you like that creates people just shopping off numbers.
2.38.
That the numbers, the lab thing is pretty much corrupt because there's lab shopping and uh, and THC percentage doesn't mean like what weed's better or not. But if people can't even look at it or yeah, that seems stupid.
Can't look at it, can't smell it. Yeah, sorry. I don't care what type of fancy packaging you put in it. I ain't buying it.
Well, a few of my long-term friends live and make their living off of working for wine business up north, mainly at the tastings and because like the tastings, it's a big thing, is like you people come in, they taste it, you try to sign them up for like a subscription model, basically, right? Uh, yeah, I don't know, understand why cannabis can't have that same thing. The same farms in that same area, you could have like there's small wineries that you go to their tasting and it's on the property and they show you where all the grapes and this and that. That's all like part of it. You could do the same thing with cannabis, like, oh, this is the cannabis, taste it, da da da, sign up, and that's like, why wouldn't that be a thing?
Now, in Michigan, that could actually work because they have what they consider micro businesses and super micro businesses. The only difference is you can't produce like rosin or medibles at the super micro business. But the regular micro business, which is $12,500, allows you to grow 150 plants, allows you to make your own medibles, your own rosin, and sell it on your own property.
Yeah, well, the years of running a fruit stand
Modern
and
knows
being in
something
fruit
about
and
that one.
vegetable business, part of like a fruit stand goes back to this old law that is meant to protect farmers that enables them to have there's like a square footage, what basically able to sell what they grow like on their property, right? As a way to be fair, which inside agriculture, there's a lot of like even what protects people trying to be small farmers is there's a lot of uh, law. Now, a lot of it's been stripped away to corporate farming and industrial farming, but cannabis people are basically farmers at this point, right? And actually, agriculture, there's hundreds of years of history of the struggle with that. Where I think where we should end up is just basically like no different than someone that produces orchids, someone that produces tomatoes, any agriculture product.
Yeah, exactly.
And even that, you can be a small producer and have farmers market or however.
I mean, when you make sugar, it gives you an effect. A lot of things that they produce gives you an effect. So the same deal with marijuana gives you an effect. It still is marijuana is a plant, still grown like that. Agriculture crop all day long.
But the way the legal system's molding the thing, they basically in a short period of time is turning it into like this
They want to
big
control
business thing model.
They want to control it. All about
Well,
Not
here in Ohio, we have the same thing as Michigan, which is called an equality fund. And if you had a possession charge or you had a felony, you were able to apply for that fund, which allowed to give you like micro businesses. If you wanted to go to Class C, it would help you pay for part of that. Here in Ohio, they've had that going, but they've done nothing with it. So all this money that they put aside for that has just been sitting there and accumulating, and I can see some representative sneaking his way in to taking all that money here in Ohio, because Ohio's corrupt. I mean, look at that. You had JD Vance on fucking TV tonight for 3 hours.
Well, the reality
That
is on
guy's
both
the
sides,
biggest asshole in the world.
state, federal, whatever you want to call the government and the establishment. Oh, they're beyond corrupt at this point. I mean, there's always been corruption all through the different eras, but like for a long time now, we've been in this like, it's the whole money in it and the lobby, the whole way the system is. It's totally, and they can say whatever they want, both sides, because ultimately, I've been through a lot of elections over my whole life. They all say all this shit they're going to do, but then once they can't do it because half the shit they say they're going to do, they can't even do without this, that. And at this point, fuck, dude, and do something good or right.
That's why we just need to decriminalize it and make it like growing a rose.
Well, yeah, exactly. It should be gone, nothing, man. Like growing a fucking tomato.
Exactly.
It's something that gives you an effect.
And if somehow we don't hold on to that,
give you an effect.
Like one of these giant conglomerate corporations is going to like, within a period of time, take over the whole fucking thing, like an RJR type thing, or if you realize even in alcohol, there's only a couple brands they all have conglomerized, right? That's the way of the modern business, right?
If they reschedule it to Schedule 3, it's all gonna go to
Well-
big business.
Well, that part of it, but once the Fed lowered or whatever, I'm sure there's already these
It's the
big companies
pharmaceutical companies are gonna get it.
right there lobbying their voice because there's a few that are trying to make moves. Seagram's, which is this giant company, they could even all vest
They
and create a
bought
new
Canada.
entity, right? uh, yeah, that's the play, like for sure, right? And okay, that's going to happen whether you want it or not. But unless we
Right, whether
have
you
like
want
a
it or not.
system underneath it, like okay, you go grocery store and buy production food, or you go
Yeah,
to the
not
farmer's market and get locally grown stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we have to fight to get that. Otherwise, they'll take it.
We'll take that away. We're gonna have
Yeah.
that. Right. Exactly.
Like
You
for
can't
sure.
stop.
But
You can't stop progress. You can't stop that happening. That's going to happen. People are going to buy it for the best, cheapest price. The best they
Yeah.
can do for what they can do.
like ultimately, the most profitable companies are the ones. Americans are value-based consumers. That's why Bud Light, whatever products, right? Where cannabis won't be any different. Like, oh, there'll be people that want uh, 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 connoisseur product or better wine or better beer or better food or whatever, and
Oh,
will
yeah.
pay for it. But
Yeah.
the real money will be made in,
Oh yeah, every day.
yeah,
It's like I said, Cuban
like
cigar or
a
something.
big corporation that's going to make a national play on a product line like that. Yeah, they're not going to try to be like some quality fucking thing. No, they're going to be some value-based concoction that they fucking formulated from extractions and whatever they fucking make, right?
This calls for a Bud Kilowatt.
Hey,
But
I'm gonna
if you
roll out
think
of here,
they're just,
guys.
if we
2
don't have
o'clock
to
for me.
fight for our rights, well, yeah, and it seems like
Peace,
cannabis
brother.
rights, we're sitting on our laurels and like accepting this path they're on.
Thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah,
And
good to
hanging
see
out.
everybody. Good to see you, D. Good to see you, Bud.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Thank you,
everybody.
Mother.
I don't know who's all
I'll
left.
see you
Yeah,
soon
but
in Michigan.
peace and love. Getting a little high. Time to go to bed. Later, guys.
Later.
Peace.
On that note, I guess guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Who wants to go first?
I will. I got to get to work. It was good chatting, everyone.
Man, I'm not even halfway through a joint. Yeah, it was great seeing everyone again. It was
Yeah.
great having Modern jump on. Like I said, you wanna go to an event in Michigan and have a really good time. Hang around Modern. He is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, D. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night, Cap, and everyone in chat.
Later, Bud.
Yeah. Tomorrow I may see you guys. I don't know. I have to go to family services tomorrow here and apply because I got a letter in the mail that says I have to apply for all these things by the 7th, and tomorrow's the 2nd.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be done by 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Right
I'm
on.
going at 8 a.m.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, you're dealing with the state of Ohio, and, there's all this red tape. they want me to bring, like I said, my tax returns. And I kind of laughed at them when they said, well, we need your tax returns. And I was like, I haven't filed taxes since 1994.
Wow, yeah, sure. Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out with us, D, and keeping this going. Thank you,
Yeah, man.
Fumi, for letting us join, and have a good night. Everybody out in chat, peace, and see you next time.
Later, Captain. Thanks for coming hanging out, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the noon safety meeting, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Let's check out the chat one time since we didn't have didn't give any shout outs, I don't think. Cheers everybody. Cheers Southern VT. Sorry, Southern Vermont Vintage. Dr. Leave Me Alone in the house. Justin Bean. Modern. Thanks for coming and hanging out. It was good to see you. Test Nugs, Hillbilly Herb, Christoph, Big Force, Mon Ami. I hope you have a great, I think it's daytime there for you right now. Oh shit, everything just went, choom. J5, yeah, that's where we left off. J5, Green Fingers, Bug Kilowatt, does it Test Nugs? Test Nugs? No, my computer, there we go. Wow. Stony Creek, SK, Ned Denver, bless you. Bless you, Mrs. D. I think I might have got everybody. If not, I'll have to get you guys next time. Jack Beanstalk. There we go. I think maybe TTC, Stone Red Setter Farms, all the way from Michigan. Hope you're having a good one, Red Setter. You and Becca. Okay, I believe I have gotten all you guys shouted out. Joshish. Still missing a couple. Let's see. Okay, I think I got everybody this time. So, if not, I'll have to take you next time. Anyhow, if you haven't already, be sure to check out here's my link. I'll shoot you this link if you haven't watched my video I just dropped today on my first experience eating Indian food, besides like samosas. I've had samosas before, lots of times, but like this is like full, not major like meal. Like I ordered way too much food. Anyways, guys, here's the link. Try to check it out. I'm gonna try to shorten it up a bit, either tonight or tomorrow. So if you watch it again, it might be shorter. So don't worry. I might just start it right when I get to the restaurant. Anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks to Fumador, like always, for putting this together. Thanks for everybody in the panel for coming and hanging out tonight with me. I suppose I guess a takeover. Hope everyone has a great rest of the day or night, whatever you're doing, or wherever you are. And we'll see you guys at the safety meeting. Don't forget, help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. And we'll see you tomorrow.